Hi, right before the podcast got started, I just wanted to go ahead and say that this was the first time we've done this, and so there were quite a few things that happened that we didn't plan on. The stream cut out about 4 times, but I went ahead and put in transition so that way it's not so abrupt and, it's a little easier to go into. But a lot of these issues that we had today, we'll try to have fixed by the next time we have our podcast. I just want to go ahead and bring this up real fast before you got into it. But with all that out of the way, I hope you guys enjoy, and I'll see you next time.
I think we're live.
Oh, well, would you look at that? Oh, yep. We are.
Nice.
Cool.
Got
All right,
rules.
so, hi, welcome. We will probably do another introduction at some point if we get more people in here. But just because this is going to be posted on the YouTube, which, by the way, please go check it out at any point, and subscribe to that.
Plug.
Hi, welcome. This is the first podcast. This is the first of the Midnight Milk podcast. I guess we should start off by saying what we're going to be doing. Really anything. It's a podcast.
Yeah.
We're just going to be talking about random stuff. This is my co-host slash first host, Zenith. Say hi.
Yeah, hi. It's not like one main person. We're doing this together. It can vary, like what we're streaming. It could be like very serious, like philosophical, or it can be about, I don't know, something like Minecraft. Who knows?
Exactly. This is just supposed to be as if you've read the bio. It's supposed to be open-ended. We plan on having very many different styles of podcasts, or at least streaming-wise, whether it be like this style, where we have just our little Discord icons that kind of flash, or maybe we will record in VR chat, or, some other platform where you can see us, maybe. Who knows? Like I said, it really just all depends on what we're feeling during the day. And, yeah.
Yeah, no schedule, no plan, no nothing. We're just diving straight into it.
Yeah, we were when did we actually say we wanted to start this? It was a couple of weeks back, wasn't it?
Oh, it had to be a month or more. Yeah.
Oh, God. Yeah, I think we had originally said like, oh, we should do a podcast, and I agreed. I was like, oh yeah, that'd be awesome. But we had literally never gone to do anything about it.
Yeah.
I think
procrastination.
Exactly. It was only procrastination. It was about a week back when we were like, all right, let's actually set a schedule to do everything.
Mm-hmm.
And
still procrastinated, but...
Yes. Still procrastinated, even though we were like, all right, let's have it done by this Saturday.
Well, I mean, we called, and then...
Yeah.
I think, we called yesterday, so it was actually a little bit...
Well,
after...
okay. We don't have to get into specifics.
Yeah. Don't worry about it.
Now
I'm lying here. We got this done like a month early, and we just decided today's our day. That is what happened.
Mm-hmm,
Yep.
Completely what happened. But yeah, I think yesterday was when we actually like officially got everything done.
Yep.
There's still a few things that will need some changing, and you might see that later on the stream if we go take a break. But for the time being, everything's gonna be just a little scuffed.
And I don't think there's gonna be a point where it's not scuffed. I feel like that's just a little quirk to the podcast.
Yes, that's just how it's gonna be. But I think that's better, anyways. Like I don't want it to be perfect.
Oh. I mean, my pizza rules.
Oh yeah, you got your dinner.
I got my 23 pizza rolls. Well, actually, half of them are gone. I'm a big boy.
Aren't we like the same size?
Oh, like, what's your weight?
Oh, never mind. I weigh like, last time I checked, like 98 pounds.
What? How tall are you? What?
Like 5'7.5", almost 5'8".
Damn, you're dwarfed compared to me.
Oh, what are you? 5'9"?
I'm average size. No, I'm like 5'10".
And only like 2 inches.
I'm average size, okay. I'm like 137 or something. Me and my pizza rolls. It's really funny because that's like average for like a 5'9", 5'10".
Oh yeah,
But
no, I'm
like,
underweight. I'm completely
yeah,
underweight.
I can see that. But like, it's really funny because you hop in the lunch line and you see all these football players grabbing their like 3 meals, and I casually walk behind them, also grabbing my 3 meals. Like, usually you're supposed to grab one, but you can pay extra for multiple meals. But I'm just a
Hmm.
hungry man, you know?
Oh yeah,
I'm a growing boy. Um,
growing boy.
so do you know how to start this off with talking about because I guess we did have a specific plan for today to kind of ease into the podcast feel, see how it goes, and they're gonna talk about different podcasts, which I don't listen to podcasts, so that's gonna be very interesting. Um,
Yeah, there's no issue. Yeah, I guess we can just start out by like basically no matter what you do, even if you try to be unique in a sense, you've still had an idea based off of a couple of different podcasts you've listened to. At least for
yeah.
me, the podcast that I listen to quite a bunch is I usually listen to three. One very recently, but the other two I listen to a lot. The Goons podcast is a really good one. The Misfits podcast, you've probably heard of them. That's with like Swagger Souls, Fitz, and all of them. And then Chuckle Sandwich, which has Schlatt, uh, Slime, and
I've seen a little bit of that one. I think one of my buddies would like show them to me when we were younger, who would just like sit down. We're too good. We're too good. There you go.
yeah, it crashed for a second, but we're back.
Yep.
Sorry.
Um,
I think
I
there's one
hope
other person
you're
watching.
able. Okay, let me look this up. Are you able to pull the video you streamed on Twitch onto YouTube? Cause that'd suck if I would have to just like, I guess if we do this, okay. Once your accounts are connected, you can export. And, ugh. So those are VODs. Can I upload an entire Twitch stream?
You
Are
should be able to just download the whole thing.
okay. And especially since I enabled that like one thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now
So,
that you have that, it
cause
should be good.
I didn't start recording, and I'm not gonna like start recording now. Like after we already went throughout our whole
Well, now you're
thing.
gonna have to splice together two clips. I think there was like 7 minutes.
Well, we'll be good.
We'll be fine.
Oh,
But
I have an
yeah,
editor.
let's see. What were we saying? Podcast. That's
Podcast.
right.
Yep.
Yeah. But
Good.
they were like probably like the bigger inspirations that I had for podcasts and
Let's
whatnot.
see.
What were we saying? So I don't know.
Podcast. Yep.
I've always wanted to do one. Like it was definitely in like the forefront of my mind that was like, oh yeah, I want to do this at some point. I just really didn't have anyone to podcast with, really.
Yeah.
But you're like the only, like I think you're the only other person that I know we could actually like flow through with sentences and like topics.
And not like get like what's it called? Because I did a podcast with one of my friends to be named, and it was for a
Mhm.
school project, and I we it was on I don't remember. Hold on. Not it was not religion. It was on. We talked about morals. We talked about religion. Oh, I don't remember what the topic was, but we had a certain topic, and I'm trying to remember the topic. I can't. But basically, I had to start it off, and he had to introduce. No. I had him start it off because it was his podcast. He had like 2 lines that I gave him, and he just had to roll through the 2 lines, which he did terribly. And then I just took it off from there. Started basically discussing to myself about religion, morals, and just like really getting into it because I wanted this to be like a really interesting podcast. It was only like 30 minutes because like you can only talk to yourself for so long. But he had some good points where he brought this up and we were like, yeah, but I don't know. I'm trying to remember the topic. I can't for the life of me now. But it was really interesting. But he only said like 3 sentences because he had extreme like anxiety in front of the camera. We did it in VR chat. And like as soon as he turned the camera on, he just froze up, and I'm like, I don't get it.
Hmm.
I just don't have lucky me, I guess. But I don't get anxious, especially when like specifically recording. Like if it's live in front of a stage, in front of an audience, yeah, I'll get anxious if I'm doing a speech or something, like in front of the class, whatever. Um, but if I'm just like recording on Twitch or recording a video for myself, it's like A, I know I can edit it if it's just by myself, or B, if we're streaming it, then chances are like when you first start streaming, there's not gonna be a lot of people watching it, so I don't really mind like if I mess up, you know? And
Yeah.
then if I'm gonna upload it to YouTube, I'll just splice it and make sure I got everything in order.
Hmm.
Nothing earlier would. Ah, my pizza rolls are getting cold.
Oh, that sucks, dude. I hate when your pizza rolls like
I only have two left.
What?
I only have two left, so
Jesus.
I'm a fast eater. Well, actually, this is me slow eating because I'm talking. But usually I don't talk much when I'm eating, so I just shove it all down. Like as I'm chewing one bite, I'll take the next bite.
Hmm.
It's just always how I've eaten. But I've learned one thing about podcasts is if you're gonna do a specific topic, you can kind of side tangent a little bit, and then eventually like 3 minutes, 4 minutes, 5 minutes talking about that side tangent, you can hop back on the topic of podcast, like or
Mhm.
whatever your topic is. But you can go, oh yeah, back to this or enough side tangent or yeah, there's a bunch of ways you can lead back to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that about podcasts. Is that you can run on and you can still make it make sense. Like
Yeah.
you can have as many different topics as you want, and I find that interesting. Like you have the ability to basically throw any conversation you
Oh,
want
I need a
at
title.
people.
I don't think I said a title for Twitch. Hold on. I can't get to
Epic.
the layout that I'm used to. Manage stream. Hold on. I can see chat. Edit stream info. I don't have a title. Podcast to podcasts. The podcast. Podcast.
I guess if
of
there's anyone
podcasts.
else new here, hi, hello, nice to see some new faces. Welcome to
Host
the
podcast
Midnight Milk
sort of tag.
Podcast.
Christian.
Christian, no, it is not going to be a Christian podcast.
Tags: Christian, furry, bisexual. These are very controversial.
Are we gonna have like bios of just like any like VR chat bio?
Oh my god. Yeah. I such a
Yes.
I can't. The podcast is not a tag. What?
Really?
Just chatting? Is that no?
Yeah. I would just go with just chatting.
There's chatty.
But yes, hi, if anyone else is
Chad!
just joining us for the first time, it's nice to see you. Real fast, I guess I can go in. Hi, welcome to the Midnight Milk Podcast. This is
Damn,
really
there's
just for
not enough
fun. We do want to tell you that it's not going to be like this every single time. You're not going to see this kind of format.
Yeah.
We do plan on changing it in the sense of like, oh, maybe we will do a VR chat podcast
we
where
went
we
over
will
this.
well, yeah, I'm just going over this for the people that just got here. And considering you
Yeah.
can't even rewind
Look, man.
because, we had to end it because it crashed.
I never ended it actually.
Well, it crashed, so technically speaking, we had to end that one. But point still
Mm.
stands. If there's anyone else new here, I guess we should say hi.
Yep. And if there's not, oh, boo.
Ooh.
Notification. Yeah. Well, okay. I'm just setting up everything that you have to set up while you're live, and not much you can do like pre-planned. You can
Yeah.
pre-plan a title. I'm pretty sure for Twitch. The
Mhm.
Midnight Milk Podcast is chugging milk. That's gonna be the notification.
Chugging milk.
No, it's just chugging. It's just chugging. That's it. Midnight Milk Podcast is chugging. Oh, category. Here
Podcast?
yeah, talks, podcast shows, and then we could put. Oh yeah, so it's only one podcast. Talk shows and podcasts. That's the category. Cool. I think that's about it. Stream
Cool.
successfully updated. Pretty cool. Oh,
Pretty swag.
I should probably make it a title where it's all capitalized. That would be smart. For a person who has a hard time reading, I'm like I've always like I word things. I just have a vast vocabulary. I think that's like the only reason why I'm a good writer.
I think I saw something about like the way you write, like
Mhm.
your handwriting. If it's really sloppy,
Yeah.
it's because you're thinking so fast, and like your hands can't keep up with what you're thinking, so it has to
Really?
like scramble to write it down.
Well, no, my handwriting's just bad.
Same.
Like I don't. There's no exception. I hold a pencil with 1, 2, 3. Like, I think all of my fingers actually. No, my pinky lifts. That's about it. Like I grip it with my 3 top fingers and my thumb, and I don't use my pinky. Either that or
Same.
it rests on it. Really?
Yeah.
What messed you up as a child?
Everything.
No.
The school I went to.
Well, I just didn't really grasp my fundamentals, so I just never. That's really the only drawback is just I can't hold a pencil correctly, and
That's how I was with
I don't want to learn.
reading.
Yeah, same. Well, yeah.
They just didn't teach me well.
Well, not everyone has like everything's perfect, you know.
Yeah.
But monkey.
Monkey.
We want to start on a specific podcast. Start talking about it.
Sure, why not?
I feel like the
So-
good one that I know is the one with Slimesicle and
All them, the Chuckle Sandwich
yeah,
podcast.
Chickle Sandwich.
I really like theirs. Like they have,
Yeah.
like, well, they have like a full-on theme, and they have a set and everything.
And it's like organized chaos, you know?
Mhm.
It's
Exactly.
like here we're gonna roll through these things and then we're going to just whatever comes out of our heads.
Mhm.
And they're goofy people.
Exactly.
But they're quick on their feet. They're able to improv really well.
Mhm.
Um,
And I think that they manage that really well with the people they invite on their podcast too.
yes, definitely. Yeah, with people you invite on your podcast, that's really interesting because it's like you know, if you have a special guest, whether they're like popular or not, you need to pick someone that like will probably like contribute a little bit, and
Mhm.
can't just pick anybody. You need to pick someone who's like, oh, they're here and not just sitting in the corner, and you know.
Yeah.
So that'll be interesting. I feel like I would invite like Ethan because I feel like he's pretty cool, but I don't know. I want to invite someone that like is able to just free talk and have just sit there and have a conversation without doing anything else.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of people out there like that who's able to just sit in no distraction, no nothing, and just have a conversation. You know?
Well, I mean, you can't lie. That is pretty difficult to do.
Eh?
Well, I mean, in the sense of like when you really take the second to like think on what you're doing in that instance, like you really have to be. I feel like you need a connection with the other people or like the person you're talking to.
Well, I mean, I can
You know
talk
what I
to
mean?
myself pretty easily.
Exactly, but I think that's because we're both really egotistical. Like, I think that's just like one of the really big contributing factors.
Look, man.
I'm not wrong. I'm not wrong.
Yeah. Well, you got me there.
But I mean, like, I feel like the person that you invite onto the podcast or whatever you're doing, like, it really needs to be. It doesn't have to be, but you just, like you said earlier, it has to be someone that you know can contribute really well.
Yeah.
And in that, and they also need to be kind of like the center. Like, they need to be the person you really ask all the questions
Yeah.
because
yeah.
they're there because you invited them.
Yeah, they're not like just a few times thing, you know. Not just they're gonna be there the whole ride. They're only gonna be there a few times.
Or like maybe even just one. So like it depends on who it
Yeah.
is.
Well,
So-
yeah. Just like it's usually 1, 2, or 3, generally. Depends how many episodes you make or how many podcasts you do or whatever.
Ooh, here's a good question. What is your like concept on, or like what are your thoughts on having more than 2 people? Like, do you think that's a good thing or a bad thing?
Like
I-
like a basis of more than 2 people.
Yeah.
I don't know, because sometimes it can get a little bit crowded. Like I noticed when like podcasts or videos or whatever on YouTube with 4 people in it, it takes like 30 minutes to
identify and remember their names and like who's saying what, and sometimes like the voices just get categorized all together, and you're not able
Yeah.
to tell who's talking, and it just but with like 2 or 3 people, I feel like 3 people is like a good number.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you know what? I learned this in English class. It's the rule of 3, and it's a I want to say figurative style. No, it's like a way of writing to make people grab their attention. There's a word for it. I just can't think of it. But rule of 3 is if you're gonna list like 3 descriptive words, then you only want to list 3. You don't want to list 4 because people remember 3 better. That if you remember 4, they're either gonna like they're only gonna remember 3 of the 4. You know.
Mm-hmm.
So when there's 3 people, I feel like it's easier to recognize. Oh, these are the three amigos. You know. I don't know. I think that's just how brains work. That's why it's used in writing a lot. Just 3 words in a sentence, or not. You know what I mean.
Yeah.
Adjectives.
I
English
get
is
exactly
fun.
what you mean on that one.
Yeah.
I've always I like podcasts that have more than 2. And the only reason why is because it like you get that many more points of views
Yeah.
on that topic. But it, like you said earlier, it can really be conflicting when you have that many people.
Yeah.
That and your ideas can like split on what you want to talk about, and then like you all have to be in agreement that either you have a certain list, or if you have a topic, let's go in like a circle kind of thing.
Yeah. You need to organize and plan better with more than 4 people. I feel 4 people. I'd feel like is a max. It takes a little bit to recognize, but like 3 people is immediately. 4 people it takes a little bit to recognize, and 5 people is like whoa.
Yeah.
So 4 is fine. You can manage 4. And like still kind of free flow it. But as soon as you reach like 5, it needs to be a whole organized thing, and you need to make sure like everybody gets a turn and a place to speak.
Now I'm not saying those aren't bad. I would be boring on a podcast. I don't believe that. And hi, Couch. Nice to see you.
Oh, I think I've seen them on your Twitch. Were they from your channel?
I think so. Yeah. I was talking to Couch today in VR chat before I got on the podcast.
Interesting.
But yeah, I don't know. Like, that's the thing. Like, it's when people think that they're gonna be boring. It's like before you even get on a podcast, do you feel like you could give good contribution to the topics at hand?
Yeah. I feel like it's more of the way you think, honestly, because if you have to, whenever you see an object, you have to describe it in words, and like you have to think to yourself, like when you're doing an internal monologue, you have to specifically think in words. I feel like that's not really good for like thinking on your feet. Because what I do is when I think about a topic, and I generally have like the shape of the topic in my head, but I can't necessarily describe it yet. So when it's coming out of my mouth, then like I get to really think about the words I want to say, and so I'm able to think on my feet faster. I'm able to talk without a script, right? I don't have a script in my head. That's I guess that's the way of thinking it, is if you have to have a script in your head for every little thing you do, it's going to be really hard to think on your feet.
Yeah. There's not going to be like, it's not going to seem fluid. It's going to seem very mechanical and stale. Well, not stale, but it's going to be difficult to make it interesting and make it flow. I feel like there's also another, like, to run off of that, you need to have a certain way of talking about topics. Because if you're very like very instant to the point kind of thinking, like you don't you don't take in like every little detail and you only go for facts, I feel like it's really difficult to do a podcast.
I guess like what I do is I have a lot of like figurative language in my speech and symbolism and like voice critical. that kind of like, I strive to be that man. I strive to have those sort of analogies, right? Able to just spew them off the top of my head. Like sometimes I get in the mood and I'm able to.
Oh yeah.
I'm able to just like spew those sort of analogies off the top of my head because it just makes talking more interesting, you know?
Yeah.
I'm allowed.
I almost completely forgot about his podcast. He's got his own too. The
Oh.
official podcast.
That'd be interesting to listen to. That's if I'm gonna listen to a podcast, I'm gonna listen to his.
Yeah. I can't remember exactly who it is with him, but there's 4 people in his podcast.
Mm.
But then there's the official podcast, and I don't know if you ever watched Wildcats one, like the Vanos crew one.
No, I don't think I know.
Well, it's just I Am Wildcat, Big Jiggly Panda, and then their guest or whatever.
Mm.
But I don't know, like they all have like really good structure to theirs. And I mean, not every podcast is gonna be a great podcast.
Yeah,
but I mean, not every
everything's
YouTube
performed
video.
differently. Yeah.
But not every video that everyone makes is gonna be the best.
Yeah, that's why I was not like, oh, we have to get everything right on this first one. No one has a good first video. That doesn't exist. So that's why I'm just like kind of like half-assing it here, you know?
But I feel like that's even better though. Like I feel like that adds so much to it.
Yeah. The first podcast kind of feel is what we're going for. That's the vibe today.
Yeah. And I mean that's not bad. Like that's really good.
Yeah.
No, dude, like I feel like whenever people say that like not like your first video is going to be your worst, I don't feel like that's true.
Yeah,
Because,
just
like,
not your best.
That's your baseline.
Yeah.
So that's like that like I wouldn't even consider that your worst. I would consider it your middle. Like that is your first. So everything after that is either going to be worse or better than that.
Yeah.
Now it's most likely going to be better because now you get to structure it, you know, better than what you did the first time. So it's most likely going to be better.
Yeah, you get to learn.
Yeah, so I only feel like you should describe your first, whatever it may be, the worst, after you've done 2 to 3 of that same thing again. Because then you get to officially describe, oh, these are probably not so great.
Yeah.
This one was better because of blah, 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 blah. And you know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess first is the best way you could describe it. Your first video is being your first. Like, that is the best way you could describe your video.
Exactly. I don't know. Like, granted, I always have like that. I always have that approach on things. I feel like it's like a little more of an optimist standpoint, but I wouldn't even put it like that. I think that's just like a realist standpoint.
Objective.
Maybe.
Is there ever such thing as a one-man podcast? Because I feel like if it's gonna be a one-man podcast, at that point it's just like a stream of you just doing something.
Well, would that still be considered a? I feel like that would be. Wait, hold on. Would it?
I feel like I technically maybe. What is the definition of a podcast?
There we go. Let's Google that.
Let's see what Google spews out. A digital audio file made available to on the internet for downloading to a computer, mobile device, typically available as a series, new installments of which can be received by subscribers automatically. That is very vague. That is so
Yeah, that's really vague.
a video on their internet that has more videos on the series. So you could say
It can be downloaded.
You could say Matt Pat's FNAF theories podcast by that definition.
Yeah.
Like that's not
What's your definition of a podcast?
could you well I have one question before it. Are you able to like have a podcast where you have like a video being like streamed as a background? Like you guys are playing CS:GO and you're more talking about a different topic than CS:GO, right?
Yeah, I would say that's a podcast.
Okay, so I'd say it would have to be at least like let's not touch on the one man thing. That'll be a different topic, but having a conversation going about a certain topic that's not like what you're currently doing, I feel like that'd be a podcast. Topics about life. Conversating.
Well, I wouldn't even consider that like a podcast.
Really?
I,
Yeah.
like, I get what you mean, but like that's like in the sense of what I see it as is like a group of people, usually from 2 to 4,
Of age?
talking
Like
about
2 to 4 years old?
no 2 to 4 people, 2 to 4 people of any age, talking about different topics.
Okay. That's what
like-
I said, but different topics is thrown in there.
Yes. Well, the way you structured it, it sounded like
Look, man. Me no think.
understandable.
Me muy estúpido.
I can't really describe the structure of what a podcast can or can't be. Whether you call it a podcast or not defines if it's a podcast or not.
Yeah.
I think that's about it. Like, if you call it a podcast, it's really a podcast, because you could call anything a podcast. If you really wanted to.
Now, what's the line between podcast and let's play?
Oh, let's play
like
is
this-
you're playing something, and
Well, yeah, but when does it become like kind of like a co-op game? Like when does like a co-op game or multiplayer game go from you playing like a let's play to it becoming a podcast? Because you could do both.
yeah,
But
as
when does
well.
it become one or the other.
I feel like you can't have a story-driven game being like in the backdrop of a podcast, because they'd be more interested in the story than what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're playing something like a first-person shooter, like, I don't know, Battlefield, CS:GO, whatever, then it's like you can kind of look at that, but still hear the conversation going on. You know, it gives you some sort of visual to look at.
Yeah.
But as long as you don't like solely talk about the game, then it would be a podcast.
Yeah. I agree with that.
I guess it's the line.
Yeah. Cause like, for example, whenever I do my streams, I might be playing like hot dogs, horseshoes, and hand grenades, or some sort of VR game, and it's usually multiplayer.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't call that a podcast because I'm by myself.
Okay.
I would call that a let's play
Yeah.
because I might be talking about different topics, but I'm still playing the game and I'm there for the game.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I wonder. Let's see what Google has to say about this. This is a third party right here. Our third man is Google.
Our third man is Google. What's your opinion on this? Huh?
Can there be a one man podcast?
Podcasts take many forms. One-man shows, co-host, guests. Okay. One man is this? Wait, I think there's a podcast called One Man Podcast.
Really?
Let me. I don't think I can play it because I'll get copyrighted.
Well, yeah, but
Josh
That might
talks
be-
about the shittiest movies being held hostage in a conversation and the war of art. So I
Deep.
think it's literally just, well, you know what? A man in his trap. A man his viewers could technically be a podcast. You know, like your viewers is your second party.
yeah.
That's understandable.
Yeah, that's also what I was thinking. Like, if you are just by yourself, but you have chat, or,
Yeah.
like you have your chat, would that be like your second man for your podcast?
It could be. Really, you could be talking about your opinions on topics, and the chat could be feeding in topics for you. You know?
Oh, speaking of, for anyone else that might be in here, if you have any suggestions on topics you would like to hear us talk about, or have any ideas on what you would think would be interesting to keep things going along, please leave them in the chat. And that same thing goes for YouTube as well. If you have any other ideas, leave them down in the comments, and we might check them out and talk about them in the next podcast.
Yeah, and a review or two. No filter, please. No.
Yes.
It's not like no. First, I think actually on my first YouTube video, which I'm pretty sure is deleted, it was on another email, and I was like, first video, please no hate, like heart or something. So I was like, I don't know, 7 years old. So no, I had to be like 8 or 9. Yeah, and
Yes. Oh, that was probably also something we should say. Like we're going to attempt to have little filter.
yeah, just whatever's on
Like-
mind.
Yeah, like I mean, we will try to leave some controversial topics less controversial and more like open-ended.
Yeah,
So that way, like you can't take like you can view what you think our opinions are.
the same
we might give our
politics.
opinion.
Well, I'd
Besides
hope
politics.
not. I'd hope not.
Like we might touch on them, but very little, and it might be
Yeah.
for like one subject, and I'm not even gonna be like in the vague sense of like, oh, do you like Trump or Biden? Like, no, it's gonna be, you know, if we do ever go on to the topic of politics, then it's gonna be on like matters, like very specific matters.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like this is what makes podcasts so interesting, is the communication in general, the way you can convey thoughts is so different. Like I've used this analogy, you could spend your whole entire lifespan, which is not to existentialize here, but honestly not that long,
Mhm.
talking about a single topic. There's so many different ways you can form a sentence that you could spend forever just talking about the same topic and different views on it.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Like you could even be the same view. You could be agreeing on the topic, but there's so many ways to word it that it could take forever, you know?
Yeah. You could literally take. I feel like that's the same. Like you could take one word, and you could have like an entire thesis on one word.
Yep.
Like for example, the. You could literally talk for hours on end, and you could get different point of views. Like I want to know your views on the word the, and
Yeah.
you'd most likely get like some of them would be the same, but they would all be structured differently.
Depending on
That's for
people,
literally-
really.
Depending on the people, but like let's say you got 5 people that all had differing views, and you told them to make it as detailed as possible. You would have 5 different people talking about the same word but have different perspectives and thoughts on it.
You know what? You know what would kind of suck about this podcast, though,
What?
is I feel like our way of conversating is really like, I don't know if philosophical is necessarily the best word, but it's pretty close.
Yeah.
And so it'll be like it's thought intriguing. So whenever you're like in your car or like on a train or doing something, you're doing a task, you're at work or something, right? It's gonna be kind of hard to like drown out the podcast. You're like, oh, this is an interesting idea, and then you start thinking about it the whole time, you know?
Yeah.
So,
But at the same time, I feel like that's neat.
yeah,
And I mean, granted, we could always have different, like we said, different styles of podcasts. We could have different podcasts where we suggest that you aren't doing something so that way you can think on it. Or if you are doing something, it's very minuscule and it doesn't take a lot of thought.
I don't know. Well, I feel like our way of conversating is just philosophical, and I feel like we can't just change the way we speak or.
Well, no, but I mean, that doesn't mean that we can't also have just like very random things like, let's talk about stories about like what we did in the past. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a bad example.
That's not as philosophical. That's really just like talking.
Well, you know what I do is any experience I go through, I try to take all of these different views on it in my head and form it into a philosophical sentence. So, not kidding.
But I get what you're coming from on that standpoint. Usually,
Yeah.
whenever I try to tell someone a story about my past, and if it's definitely something that I know that affected me,
Yeah.
then I want to make it philosophical so that way the other person can get something out of it. They can get a thought and a viewpoint from it, so that way they can take that and use it for themselves. They get more points on different people that aren't there. You know what I mean? Like that they get different thoughts, so that way they can compare and contrast them to their own.
Yeah. You know what? Okay, so obviously this is our first podcast. We're not gonna get everything right, but I feel like we should have like an intro line on like, I'm Zenith, you're Storm, because now we're so far into it that we've never introduced our names. So for new viewers, they're like, who are these? Who are these bozos?
That's right. Whoops.
Whoops.
Well, I guess if you are still here and you want to know, the spilled milk and the dead eyes is Stormageddon
Dead?
or me.
Oh yeah.
That is me. I am Stormageddon. And
Storm for sure.
the other person.
Yeah,
Yeah, Storm for
hi,
sure.
I'm other person with the quiet eyes. I feel like you can tell who's talking about the green bar. It's a little bit confusing because sometimes Discord picks up background noise and doesn't even feed any audio through. But
Well, yeah, but I mean, either way, if you've been paying attention long enough, you'll understand who's talking.
yeah, yeah, I'm Zenith. Hi, Zenith is fine. I don't really care. What was I gonna say? Even with podcasts, you don't even have to know who's talking or not. You could at the end of the podcast, which is not really like an ideal thing to do. You could introduce your names at the end of the podcast theoretically,
Yeah.
and it really wouldn't matter because you know all of a sudden the person would be like, oh, this person said this, and piece it together in their head at the end. Either that or they conjoined the two voices together and then not remember who said what.
No, we aren't going to do that. We do want to have some separation, but
Yeah. Ugh.
that'd be really confusing if we just never said anything and we would just talk at the same time the whole time.
Well, that's just called like, what is it called? Obeying by the rules of human decency and conversation. That's what that is. But you know what would be really funny?
What?
So you know my like other like tone that I speak out, which is like fucking to a lot of people at this tone I sound exactly like Ethan. And
Oh god.
and
That'd get confusing.
yeah, it'd be really confusing for like, oh, two of the same people talking about one topic and you don't know who's talking about it.
I've noticed Game Boy does that sometimes. Like whenever he just wakes up or he's very tired,
Yeah.
he sounds almost like me.
Oh, that's
like
scary.
very, like, the accent isn't there, but like it's definitely like you can misconstrue it for a split second.
Yeah. I feel like the way I speak is like depending on my mood sometimes.
Oh yeah, no, I think that goes for everyone.
But like 90% of the time that I'm gonna be on the podcast, I feel like I'm gonna be speaking in my natural tone.
Yeah, same.
Because that's it's easier to spew out my thoughts like that. I can talk very fast about topics because I want to get all of the ways to describe my thoughts out fast enough, but not like Mexican fast, you know.
Not so fast that like it just like it gets lost.
Oh, I had a conversation with one of my friends that I think they're like Malaysian or something. And they were like, I was like, how did you learn your like English? And they're like, YouTube. And I was like, oh, that's like interesting. I feel like if I were to be a YouTuber and you wanted to learn English, you would not want to watch my videos because I use so
Yeah.
much figurative language and like speak so fast that it's gonna be like, what you say?
I felt that.
Yeah, but well, if you are like already have a basis on English and you want a challenge, here I am
Hey,
because
there you
this
go.
is how you learn how to have fun with English. Because
Mhm.
that is the only good quality about English is that it even like it's structured in like a poor way, but it's so filed down to like a lot of people who especially are American especially say, oh, we don't have an accent because I guess you know they've been using it to their whole life, and I just took that as, oh, since I've been speaking English in an American accent my whole life, then I'm assuming that I just can't hear the accent because that's the way I speak. But then I talk to other people in countries and I'm like, sorry for my American accent, and they're like, what accent? I'm like, huh. And then I think someone explained to me, they're like the American accent
is kind of like the your mouth moving, and then like you just making like I don't know. There's no ways to form your mouth. I can't describe it, but it's been filed down to the point where there is no accent.
That's no, you do have an accent. It's just called.
Well, I have a northern accent. Well, sometimes.
Like, you know what's really interesting? It's when you try to mimic other people's accents.
Yeah.
Because like the only way accents work is it's all a formation of your mouth. It's like
Yeah.
all the way you pronounce things. So for me, I've noticed that you can hear a lot of I slur a lot of words.
Mm.
You can really hear it in words. Now, whenever
Yeah.
I try to take that away, and it takes a lot of focus, but I've gotten a lot better at it recently.
hmm
But like even it still shines through a lot, like especially with words.
Yeah.
Like you can still
and,
hear
and
it.
impressions too.
Like doing that, it's not hard. No, it's hard in the sense that it's like you're basically learning to talk again, but
Oh
differently.
my god, like this hurts my brain.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah. Oh Jesus. I have learned with accents though, and we've gotten so far off the topic.
Yes, we
I was
have.
getting somewhere with this. I had a point, and I lost it. Yeah. I let me go back to the point where if you're the good of English. The one redeeming quality about English is that the fact that there's so many like there's so much wrong kind of makes it a good, because now you can make puns and wordplay, right? That's the one thing, because when you're translating a show to another language, you need to like especially like English to Asian, because I feel like those are very far apart languages. Not the Asian language, obviously that's not a language, but like something like English to Mandarin, two completely like I feel like opposite languages. It'd be really hard to translate that, because the wordplay you use is going to be completely different in Mandarin. And sometimes some languages don't have wordplay. Sometimes it's very straightforward. Because I've heard people talk about, yeah, when I was in school and they taught me English, they taught me it very formal. But when I went on YouTube or around friends, I finally learned how to make English, like have fun with English. So I feel like that's just one good quality that English has over other languages.
English is so it's a very poor language.
Yeah.
In the sense of how long it takes to get a point across.
Yeah.
With other languages, the whole sentence structure is based on like favorite color red.
Yeah.
Or like color favorite red. And they structure it so that way you get your topic first, or you get your main thought first, and then the specifications go down. But for English, it'd be like, oh, my favorite color is red.
Yeah.
There's so much more in that doesn't need to be there. You could literally just be like, favorite color red.
Yeah.
You would know you're implying yourself because you're talking. You're not saying someone else's name prior. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's such a bad way to phrase it. But like you just said, it allows for so much more wordplay and just to have fun with that language.
One thing is Japanese is also like their sentence structure is backward to us, but technically forward. But let me take Spanish for example, because I know that one a little bit better than any other language. Like but their adjectives are flipped. You say the adjectives last, and the reason for that is I have a really good analogy that my uncle explained to me. Is if you're in a call and all of a sudden the connection gets cut off halfway through your sentence, then if you're speaking in English language and like they ask you like where's my keys, and you say in the red barn, if it gets cut off halfway through your sentence, you say in the red, and they don't know what you're going to talk about, right? But if you say in the barn red, then they go, oh, it's in the barn and I know the barn is red. They can assume what you're going to say afterwards. But like with Spanish, it's like, yeah, in English, my favorite color is.
And excuse me for my poor Spanish, because I am very white. But like instead he would say, "Mi color favorito es rojo," right? Which so color is color. And so
Mhm.
color is first, before favorite. So you know that like, oh, he's gonna be talking about colors instead. Oh, he's gonna be talking about favorites, which is favorite is generalized. You don't know exactly what like favorite what, you know.
Yeah.
So Spanish is an example. It's not exactly like necessarily the best because it's Spanish and English were formatted off of this like similar or the same what was it called, language or structure, like
I'm pretty sure there's
Greek
a
and Latin.
combination of 2 languages.
Yeah, Greek and Latin.
That's just so stupid to me. The fact that you'll mix 2 different languages and try to combine them into one.
Yeah.
Dumb. But
Um,
you get to have fun, I guess.
I find it funny that like that English is like it's been changed so much that in Spanish you would have this has had nothing to do about podcasts.
Yeah, it really doesn't. I was literally just thinking about that. Like, how are we gonna go back? No, I know how we can go back.
All right,
I'll have a topic.
let me finish. You realize that like anatomical terms and root words for English are similar cognates in Spanish, right? So if you say something like I guess I'm gonna have to say anatomical terms because I'm in an anatomy class, so that's like fresh in my brain. But the anatomical term for arm is like brachial or something. And in Spanish, like, okay, arm in Spanish. Let me search this up so I don't absolutely butcher this because I have no idea. Yeah.
Brazo.
Brazo. That's the arm in Spanish. And which is like, okay, how is that similar to arm at all? And then you figure out that like, oh, the anatomical term for arm in English is brachial. Brazo, that's not too far off. It's really interesting on how that works, and especially like Latin root words like like I can't think of one. I'm sure like what is root like. Let me see what death is in Spanish. Death in Spanish. Oh, it's just wait, hold on. I flipped it and I didn't do this correctly. Okay. Death in Spanish is
Muerte.
muerte. And the Latin root word for death in English is mortis, right? Pretty similar. It's really interesting. And of course, if I'm sorry if you're actually like Hispanic and like I'm butchering this, but like there's so many different forms of Spanish that, that's probably right in one country, but completely wrong in the next. There's just so many different ways and forms to say words. It's confusing, man. Like if you're gonna learn Spanish, you can learn how to understand it pretty well, but speaking it is no matter what country you go to, you're practically fucked because it's different everywhere.
Now, here's a thought.
Mm-hmm.
How differently would podcasts be if they were in different languages? Like, would they need to take their language and talk as if you were in English, but in your language? And what I mean by that is use the sentence structure as English and use it in your language.
What? Like for easy translation?
No. I mean, like, to allow thoughts like this.
Oh.
Because, like you just said, because every language, it's structured so that way it's the shortest and easiest form.
Yeah.
Would you have to drag out your sentences in your language just like English?
Theoretically, it's not practical at all. Because then you're gonna that's at that point creating a new language. But theoretically, if you were to change your construe your language like that, then technically maybe. I don't know.
I really want to know how podcasts are in different languages.
It's not going to be exactly like English, but it could be like the similar structure to English, Because and I think I'm not sure, but in Mandarin, or I think my history teacher said Chinese,
But I think he referred to as Mandarin because Mandarin is a popular language in China, but it might be a different language. But you know how there's accents on words in different languages.
Mhm.
There's different ways to say like ma, and depending on how you finish the a, it means a different word, right? But for English, it's just the same word. We don't have accents. But so for like Mandarin or something, I think depending on how you say ma, it could mean like your mother or horse or pig. I don't remember exactly what animal, but it was a different animal. But in English, mom means mom. You know?
Yeah.
Like, but we have words like that, like truck and truck. Like you have the vehicle truck, and then you have the action to truck someone. Those are two different things. I actually think to truck someone came off of like someone said I'm going to truck you, as in like I'm going to become a, like, it was probably some sort of like personification or something, and then people just started using it as like a figurative speech, and then the truck eventually became a word of like an action. But like I guess that's the only example I could think off the top of my head where it means two different things, but it's the same word. But not but with when it comes to different languages, uh the two different meanings same word is not the same words. That's confusing. I'm sorry. That's really hard to word.
I
There's a
got
lot of word in
lost.
that.
Let's just say I got lost.
Look. Anyway, back to podcasts.
Anyway, back to podcast.
Forget everything I said. It's all useless anyway.
No, let's not forget it. 'Cause
No,
it was still
yeah.
very interesting. But I guess like a way we can go back to podcasts in this sense is like, would they be the same? Like, would they still be in a podcast format in different languages?
Yeah, that's interesting. 'Cause since some languages are straightforward, then you might not be able to have a podcast where it's
Ooh, I don't think it would be in the sense of a philosophical podcast. I think
Yeah.
it would really only be able to be in a story sense and a thought sense. Like
yeah.
like this for example. Why don't like for a podcast that was like, oh, let's talk about past childhood stories.
Mhm.
You could still do that in your language. Or
Yep.
oh, what would you want to do for your dream job?
You can
could still do that in your
I mean, you
language,
could talk
but-
about like politics.
Yeah, you could still definitely talk about things, but I don't think you'd be able to do things like this where you
Yeah.
go into. I don't think you could have paradoxes. I don't think you could physically form paradoxes in a different language.
Yeah.
Or like you could, but it would be a
Very s-
little. It would be kind of difficult.
It'd be easier to understand.
It'd be easier to understand, and the paradox might not even seem like a paradox.
Yeah.
But now, for this you could very easily create a paradox.
On any sentence we said, because
Yeah.
my brain is a paradox.
Exactly.
It is.
We
frying.
lost someone.
Oh no.
I think we killed him. I think we killed him.
I do. I figured out who this the follower was, which was Couch Potato.
Oh my god.
Is there a way I can see that? So okay, 2 viewers. I'm assuming that's me and you.
Are you watching the stream too?
Yep. Well, I'm watching the stream on the stream manager.
I don't think that counts.
Can I click on it and see? Okay, well that just hides the viewers.
We might have a bot. I know there's a bot because I know I have a bot.
Well, not.
I'm
Well,
not complaining.
thanks for watching the podcast. No, it doesn't
Who knows,
doesn't
maybe
really
we can
matter.
Try this.
Huh?
Wait, users in chat.
Where do you see that? I have a
uh,
completely different format than you.
Oh, I'm on the actual users in chat. Let's see. Broadcaster, the Midnight Milk, users, Apple Pie Chart, A10, Couch, and Storm.
Interesting.
I think there's only 2 of us, so it might be.
This
I
is
know it's
okay.
me.
This is interesting. So I'm looking at it. Session 52 minutes. We've already been talking for an hour, by the way.
Heck yeah.
Which, well, like to me, it was like, oh, it was a short amount of time. I can understand an hour, because looking at the topics we talked about, that would take an hour to talk about.
Oh yeah.
Especially with my rambling. And it says, 2 followers, 2 viewers, and 22 views.
What?
Yep.
You know that'll go up, by the way, right?
Does that just mean like how many different people clicked on and clicked off?
I think so.
So there's 2 viewers currently, or probably 3, and well, no, 2 viewers. I guess that's excluding me, right? Because did you say my name?
No,
Oh
I
no,
don't
you
think so.
didn't. I guess the viewer count was just wrong then. Either that or like the person watching is like, it's like I don't know. Maybe they got off already and it's like slow or behind. Who knows? It's Twitch. It's a big platform. But the thing is, I don't really care like if we don't get many people on
Yeah,
the
meaning, like-
podcaster mod because it's gonna be uploaded to YouTube anyway. So
Well, yeah, but not only that, but we're not doing this to get views.
yeah, that's
We're just doing this because it's
Yeah.
fun and it gives us a reason to talk for hours.
it's an excuse to talk. That's so dumb. Like, I talk to my friends, like, and they're like, well, instead of, so, I play a lot of VRChat, 900 hours on it, and I have a lot of my friends, like, like, a lot of people just, generally ask, what do you do at home? And you know what I tell them? I tell them I socialize. That's what I tell them. Because there's no chance I'm gonna say, oh yeah, I get on the Sans avatar and I get on this VR game that has a bunch of like weird people in it,
Yeah.
VR chat
that-
has a certain view that everyone has if they haven't played the game. Although it might be
yeah,
different.
And that sucks. It sucks that's the view that everyone has.
Yeah, if you play VR chat, you're weird because that's the general view.
Yeah.
But
Oh
so
wait, I have a question.
yeah,
Is the music still playing?
it is.
Be careful because do you have autoplay on?
I have loop.
Oh, you have it on loop. Okay,
Yeah.
thank God. I was about to say like if you accidentally like have the autoplay on, it's gonna play a random song that might not be copyright free.
All of a sudden, it turns to a rap song and it just has a bunch of racial slurs in it. Like,
Oh my, I would just cry. I would just leave.
all right, end of the podcast. Not recording this. Goodbye. Like,
All right, guys. Well, this has been the end of the Midnight Milk podcast.
Yeah.
You are not seeing us ever again.
you know what I fear? We have to have an intermission today. Like it has to just for that one thing.
I do kind of want to go get another drink.
Are you sure? Okay. Like right this
Are we
second.
going to? Are we going to intermission?
I think we're going to intermission.
All right, let's
All
go to
right,
intermission real fast.
Let me pull up the PNG.
What PNG? What do you
What?
mean? You mean our perfectly created intermission picture?
I gotta make sure it's on center. All right. We'll be back with milk. I should actually
Yes,
go
we
grab
will.
milk.
You know what? Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna go grab me a glass of milk. Be right back. So yeah, I don't know. This was just like a little fun idea that we had like a little while ago, and I hope the people here are enjoying.
Alright, well, I had to open Discord on a separate platform just so I can test out my mic. And then I had to mute OBS, because I realized that the Twitch can still hear me. So I had to, every time I have to go, I have to mute my Discord and my OBS.
Bruh.
So,
I just have a little button on my mic that can mute it.
oh, yeah, well, I can flip my mic up, but then it makes these all crackling sounds. I need, well, it's almost gonna be Christmas, and I asked for a Blue Yeti for Christmas, so...
That's what I have.
Hey, yeah, I heard it's good. I never, you hear bad things about it for just use. I should probably pull down this intermission. There you go. Intermission.png is gone.
What a beautiful thing.
That's great.
It is.
Anyway, so, not only do we have to, talk about, other podcasts, if we're on just the subject of podcasts, Milk would be a good one. Because, I mean, our podcast is about milk. What is your views on Milk, Storm?
What are my views on milk?
Yep.
Oh, ooh. So for just daily drinking, just daily, 2%. But if I get cereal or I'm feeling extra special, whole milk.
I don't drink milk that much. I'm gonna be honest. I only drink it in cereal.
Oh, couch. On the VR chat streams, you might join. Oh,
That'd be
yeah.
interesting.
Yes, it would. Now that would be cool if we could have like a little live audience. Not crazy huge, but like people that we know would just listen or like maybe even ask questions. That would be cool.
Isn't that called Twitch?
No, have like people in our VR chat world.
Oh.
To kind of like sit there and listen. We'd be actually talking to people at that point. We would know we would have people there.
At that point, you create your own VR chat world for just the podcast.
Exact.
I could do that.
Oh, that would be cool.
I've been needing to create a VR chat world for trusted users, so I could get back. Unity's a bitch though. It's such a pain to use.
I've wanted to model so bad, and I've even wanted to.
Oh,
start
you know
modeling.
what?
What?
Since it's our the theme of our whole entire podcast is gonna be scuffiness. I don't think it matters. We can have a scuffed world.
Yes.
It still needs to be functional, of course, but I don't think I have to focus too hard on it. It could just be.
Well, I mean that, and you can just download assets, really.
Mm.
And I feel like if we were like what I kind of want for like a world is like we have like a little table, and then we have little boom mics that we sit in front of.
Hell yeah.
That would be cool.
Oh, I mean, since I have full body, it's like I could just like I could be more expression. Like yes.
I would need to sit, or like I would need a chair.
Just
like,
full
I don't know
body,
if
bro.
You've seen me. I'm very expressive whenever I'm locked. I'm like locked in place.
Milk.
Dude, I think my milk's expired. It said the 24th on it.
I drink it, dude. That's what cottage cheese is. It's just expired milk.
Dude, oh my god! I remember there was this one time at school. I had grabbed milk. I didn't read the date. I read the dates now.
Well,
but I didn't read
you
the
shouldn't
date.
have to, because it's the school milk.
I
right?
shouldn't have to, but this one time I didn't. I took a sip of the milk, or not even a sip. It was a swig. It was warm. It was spicy. Yes.
No.
And chunky. It was as spicy as sriracha. It doesn't make any sense.
That's one of the reasons why not a lot of people drink milk is because it's like, oh, I don't know if it's like they've drinking expired milk before and they're just like never again.
Yeah, dude, this is my second L8 today.
Like mayonnaise. My grandpa is like mayonnaise is the worst condiment. And I'd agree with him on that because it expires so quickly, and so mayonnaise could be like detrimental to you, honestly. You could be in the hospital like for a week just from like food poisoning from it.
Exactly, bro.
Just like, and because the expiration dates are not gonna be exactly on, and if you make a sandwich in the morning with fresh mayonnaise on it and save it for lunch, it most likely will expire by then. All the other condiments will be fine until for 2 days, but mayonnaise will expire real fast because I think it just has it has more milk in it. So milk expires.
It's very dairy heavy. Oh, well, would you look at that? About an hour and 10. A little over. I would say this is a very successful podcast so far. We've definitely Oh, I thought that said English and charity. I'm like, oh, this is for charity? But, oh, Jeanette went mute. I didn't even notice that. But for a first podcast, I definitely feel like this is going pretty well. I hope everyone else will agree.
Yeah.
On that standpoint.
I had my parental figure walked in, and I had to hold my finger up because I had to pull up OBS to mute myself. That's annoying. I'm sure I have a set keybind for it, and I don't remember if it's 0 or 1, and one of them ends the stream. So. Let me. I think it's 0 because it's an easy. It's on the number key, so it's an easy tap. Let me see settings. Hotkeys. Nope. I don't think I have a mute button. Oh, here we go. It's the delete key.
That's a dangerous key. Why'd I put it on that?
Oh, by the way, if you want, remember, well, this goes for anyone. I'm talking to Couch because that's the person that's in the
Oh.
chat. Oh, that's right. Anyone on YouTube won't know who we're talking to if we ever talk to someone.
Does the did the let me test something real quick.
No, the stream only captures your. Oh, I was like, wait, who's that?
Give me a second. Let me see if it pops up. Let me test something real quick.
No, the stream
I gotta-
only captures your. Oh, I was like, wait.
Yeah, it doesn't show. Oh, you know what? Well, let me pull up OBS real quick. I don't think the chat. Yeah, the chat's not showing in the bottom right. That's annoying. Come on.
It probably needs to be layered properly.
Yeah, I don't know. I had it working before. We're gonna have to like, not during a podcast, but just to like get the chat working on the second one. It's fine. Again, it's a first podcast. I really don't like.
Yeah.
It's whatever.
Don't exactly care.
You we could have a system like this viewer commented or something, and then say what they commented and then talk about it, so that the people on YouTube or the people just listening in general know, oh, someone commented and then they're talking about this, right?
Yeah, I usually like call them by their first word of their name.
Yeah.
Like Couch. I've been saying Couch, so
Mhm.
and they know there's no one else in this, stream or this podcast. So
It's it's still a little bit confusing.
yeah.
But I feel like this will be ready. So do you not have a door for your room?
Nope.
Yeah, so I have a door. So I feel like if I'm ever gonna be podcasting, I just like put up like draw on paper podcasting or like drinking milk or something and tape it to my door.
I think I might just do that for the staircase.
Yeah.
Just like put it on one of the banisters for the staircase.
Yeah, so me with milk, I don't it's like eggnog for me. I don't want to drink too much of it. I'm not one of those people who just like, oh, this is so good, I'm gonna endlessly drink this kind of thing.
Oh no, dude, I'm the exact opposite. But
yeah.
you know that. You know I would love to just like, if I could, I would drink a whole gallon.
Yeah, I like one drink and I'm good. That's my max before I pass out. No.
Oh, that's awesome, dude. I just love milk, bro.
I love milk with things. I can't just have it as a standalone drink. I love it with cereal, with cookies. It's great. But I don't normally have milk. It just leaves the taste in my mouth, and I'm like, ugh. I
man.
taste the I'm about to be expired taste. Which
I'm
is
about to be expired,
there's no
taste.
point where it's never about to be expired.
Well, I mean that's like cheese. Crap.
Hey, it's gonna go back online. It just pauses because the session's still going for me. So I think what happens is I don't think it's gonna go offline for the clip. I think it just goes offline.
It just ends.
It just ends.
Yeah.
Then it goes back live. What?
Yeah, you just go back online.
That's so weird. Okay, yeah, so it just ended and then it went back online. But it still says the session is the same amount of time. Huh. Hold on.
Crap.
Can you send me the Well, it's back online, by the way.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh. There it is.
Here.
Sorry about that, fellas.
I just got a I just got PM'd to send the podcast link.
Oh, I need that.
What do you mean you need that?
I need the podcast link so I can
What?
at least
Oh,
post it.
shoot. Now it That's so weird. I gotta make sure I'm on the right Discord or else it'll transfer Discords. That's scuff. That is scuff.
The internet's lagging, be right back. Alright, Couch, that's no problem. We are having issues too, so.
Yeah.
And now, granted, it's not gonna be this bad whenever we actually edit it and uh-oh.
Yeah, you see that? I went to the
I
DMs
see
to send him.
balls. I see balls.
That's great. Yeah. No. So that's a one of my buddies sent me a meme of just like I think it's Iron Man 1 or 2.
and it just
Hi,
says
Phoenix.
Jarvis scanned this guy's balls. It's great.
Nice to see you.
Yeah, that's one of my IRL friends. He's pretty swag. He also streams sometimes, just by himself streaming a game. Pretty cool. Oh shoot, did it stop streaming? No! What is my Discord doing? I'm having so many technical difficulties. This is so dumb.
Wait, no, I don't think so. I think it's still going.
No, it's so okay,
Yeah, no, it's still going.
no, not the Okay, well let me pull up OBS so it streams that. But I have to go back and stream OBS so it now
Whoa.
separates the icons, or else the visuals go a little funky.
Where did we get these 5 people?
Yeah, so now it's that's so weird. Oh, that you know, it just adds to the scuffiness. I feel like we're good.
It does. We have to leave this into the video too.
The more
We have to leave
scuffiness,
it
the
in.
better. Yeah. We cannot clip this off. It has to be in. Yeah. So just to catch you up a little bit. This is just a podcast about like general really anything. But can get like really philosophical at points just because it's our way of thinking.
Considering we've got like 3 more people than we did before. Hi, I'm Stormageddon or Storm.
Yeah.
This is Zenith.
Yeah. Hello, gang. What's up? Back to milk.
Back to milk.
I've had this conversation with a lot of people, and I go up in hall. I talk to a lot of people like in the hallways and stuff like that in school. But like I just go up to them and I'm like, now who the fuck is the person who discovered milk was edible? Like, who milked the cow and drank it? Like it had to be some lunatic. I don't know. But I guess theoretically, because you think of you can breastfeed like. Every animal breastfeeds milk to babies. So you'd think that like someone had the thought process of, oh, maybe this certain milk, and maybe they did some testing, is edible to other species. But judging how far we've had milk, I don't think that's how it went. I think some crazed lunatic just went ahead and like figured out that like, oh, there's juices dropping from this animal. let's take a swig, and they just went for it.
Dude, I wouldn't be surprised.
I'm gonna look it up actually. Let's see what our third party has to say. How was milk? How do you word that? Who discovered cow milk was edible?
Bruh. That's super interesting to me. Like,
the origins of milk. Why was the first cow milked?
oh.
What? Okay, well, this is the whole thing.
Gang, what's up? It blocked that for me. I think I might have like a profanity filter or something on.
What
'cause
did-
I haven't actually gone in.
Because he said stupid idiot. Was that blocked?
Yeah.
That's so dumb. Okay, this is a long article. I'm not reading any of this, dude. Well, I guess this is gonna be an open-ended thing, and if you want to search up how milk was discovered, go ahead, because I feel like that's a thing you'd really want to know. who is the mentally not so well person who discovered milk? You got any views on this? I feel like we've run a little dry. We've milked the podcast a little dry.
I was literally about to say that. How dare you?
Oh shoot! It did restart because now it says 5 minutes in the session.
Yeah.
So now we're gonna have to take 2 videos and splice it up.
Actually, we're gonna have to take more than that.
Well, yeah. This is okay. So this is weird. So I wonder if have I done anything with OBS? Because it's always been streaming, but I could still see all the comments. Like, why is that? Why has the session restarted and the views are still the same? Huh.
Wacky.
That is wacky. Yeah, any thoughts, Storm?
On what, milk?
Anything?
How do people make languages? Or how did people make languages?
How did people
We should save that one. We should save that one
for a different podcast.
because we already basically went on that. You
Yeah.
missed it, Phoenix. We whenever we post this on YouTube, I definitely suggest you go in and watch the full podcast. But we went on to like context or like how words and sentences are really confusing whenever you try to make sense of them contextually.
English.
Mm-hmm.
That sums it up. How confusing English is, really, and the goods of English, the figurative language, whatnot. I don't know much about milk. I'm gonna be honest. I know like some of the biology of it. What? Let me. Oh, god damn it! It stopped streaming again. What is my computer doing?
Wait, did it stop just streaming on Discord?
No, it stops streaming the OBS, which allows the icons to pop up.
Oh.
I feel like I'm just having internet issues. I feel like
By the way,
that's
do you
thing.
want me to post the video on YouTube? Like, you just send it to me? Because if you try to log in, it's going to be a process, and I
Yeah.
can just upload it real fast.
Oh.
That and I have 1 gig up and down, so...
Well, the thing is about that is if I send it's not gonna send over the Discord, guaranteed. Like a 2-hour-long video.
Oh, yeah, that'll...
How is that? Like I would have to put it in like a zip, and like have it like on a web page like GitHub, and you'd have to download it from there. That's a long
yeah, that's
process.
right.
So I might as well log in for that one.
Do you guys plan on having any special guests? Yes, we do, Phoenix. We plan on having quite a few, if we can, really.
Not any in like particular, like in our heads at the current moment, but like if we have someone that like we talk to and we're like, oh, this person can carry a conversation really well, doesn't have like stage fright per se, then that's totally fine. We can talk about them, talk about like their different views on topics. Mainly ask them questions, because if we're gonna have a special guest, it's gonna be like the main focus, really.
Yeah, they like that one's gonna be like, you need to be able to be the center of it all.
Yeah.
Like, you're the reason you're there is because you are the main focus.
Yeah.
So.
And just to get you up, this is with this being a podcast, it's gonna be like there's gonna be different varieties of it on it. We might do podcasts in VR chat. We might be streaming game, face cam maybe. Whatever we're feeling that day. It's not just gonna be these two little I don't want to say crappy because the art's good, but janky.
Yeah,
Janky
and
setup.
we might actually have a intermission screen, maybe, if we ever decide to get
I don't
one.
know. This one's pretty good.
Yeah.
I wanna flash you this intermission screen because I feel like this is pretty good. I mean, this is an MS Paint, and it's just a little flash of just gone for milk, and then it has like you could see like in the top left intermission dot PNG. Yeah.
It's beautiful. It is actually so beautiful. Hey, yo, Joe Rogan on the midnight. Dude, I would cry
Bro.
if Joe Rogan wanted to be on our podcast.
Let's get
bro.
Ryan Reynolds on here.
Bro.
I just watched Red Alert. Not gonna spoil it, but Ryan Reynolds is in it, and that's why it's good.
I haven't seen it, so no spoilies.
You should watch it because Ryan Reynolds is in it.
Is it on VR chat? Is it on that one world?
I'm sure it is.
Alright, we might have to go and watch that.
Yeah.
Speaking of Joe Rogan, he's got a really nice podcast.
I don't think I've ever. Well, I haven't listened to any podcast really, so.
You should.
I don't
alright,
know.
I might come back later. I'm gonna go right now. See ya. Yeah, if we are still streaming, which we probably won't be after a little while.
Yeah.
Maybe. Don't know. It depends. But if we don't see you after tonight or after this podcast, go check out the YouTube channel. We will have everything posted there.
Link in
Hopefully
the
by.
Description below. No, it's
Hopefully before the weekend.
Yeah.
Like I said, there's no time limit. Like, there's no schedule that we're gonna have on this.
Yeah, just basically, later on the day, 1 to 4 hours podcast. Bam. We could try to go. Do you want to try to go for weekly? Or every 2 weeks?
At least let's not go over let's at least not go over 2 weeks without a podcast.
Okay. So at least once every 2 weeks, but generally weekly. I feel like that'd be fine.
Yeah.
Again, there's so much you can talk about that I don't feel like we can milk our brains dry. You know what?
love how this- like,
Emojis.
dude,
That's what we
this-
need.
This really, I love this because the way this all started was I was sitting in class. No, I was at home talking to my friends, and I was like, you know what, guys, you know what would be really cool? A podcast. And I had a glass of milk in my hands, and I was just sitting there, and I'm like, I got it. It just like hit me. I'm like, I had the best name ever.
Midnight
And that's where the
Podcast.
Midnight Milk Podcast came from.
That's great. I guess messaged me just like podcast. I'm like, sure. That's about it. That's about how the transaction went. I was like, oh cool. Yeah, I'm done. Basically.
I told you about the Midnight Milk Podcast when I first thought of it.
Yeah, and I think it was like more of like, oh, that'd be a cool idea. And then the next time we talked about it, we're like, we could pull this off.
Yeah.
You know? Again, there's nothing wrong with just like not really just going in, not really looking for like, oh, I want to be this most famous person in the world. But just really looking to just like have it available to people. Should really be your motivation. I want to have these discussions and have it be available to people so people can come across and go, oh, that's interesting.
Mhm.
That's really it.
Oh, what subsection are we in, or what category?
I think I already told you. Let me see. Talk shows and podcasts.
Talk shows and podcasts. That's what it was.
Yeah.
I was gonna go see if we would even be there.
Well, there's so many podcasts that go on that.
Yeah, I know, but like you never know.
Well, yeah, you put it in the category, it's gonna be there, right? It's not like it's gonna be
I
filtered
really
out.
want to see what our competition is.
Like currently,
Mm-hmm.
Thanksgiving documentaries.
Oh, that might be difficult to beat. Okay, let's see. Talk shows and podcasts.
One that looks like it's I can't tell, but I think that's Japanese.
11 views, 8 views, 93. I want to see if we can find ours.
By just scrolling?
Yep.
Oh, yeah, because a lot of these aren't like the most huge
Podcast.
podcasts in the world. Yeah, like 6 viewers. Well,
Three,
some of these are a little bit
actually-
more formatted better. Is that
Actually, some of these have the exact same amount as us.
is that Dietrich?
3, 2.
I'm sorry.
I don't know. I can't tell.
I don't know if we'll pop up on the list just because you would, or I would see you. Because I'm not the one who owns the Twitch.
Well, if I search it up, maybe.
Oh, here, wait. Yeah, here it is.
Where?
I found it. The podcast. It was I don't know. It's not gonna be under any section. I just clicked on talk shows and podcasts, and I kept on scrolling down, and I found it.
Hold on, I might have passed it.
You know, compared to all of these like art and like formats that I'm looking at, we don't have the best format.
No, not really.
Again, I feel like we should. This is gonna be like kind of complicated to make, but we can have like
A UI.
like art and then like a diagonal line in between.
Oh, there
Just-
we are.
Just our characters, you know. We
Yeah.
could, we could have our characters and then have milk over the heads of them. That'd be funny. But and then
We didn't look,
and then
I
with
don't think we
mics.
stick out, but we definitely don't look the same as everyone else. So I think we stick out in that regard.
Yeah, we do stick out, but we don't look the most professional in the world. But I feel like an easy way to do it is face cams. Looks a little bit more professional, you know.
Either that, or
And that's
if
not
we
hard to
did
set
it
up.
in like VR chat or something. Like if we had something
Yeah.
to look at.
Yeah, I feel like if we like hover like let's go like VR chat like I feel like that'd get. My question is, does it still save the clip?
Yeah, like all 3 of our clips are right there.
Oh, they are.
Yep, I see 6 minutes, 1 hour, 9 minutes, 26 seconds, 16 minutes, 24 seconds.
Why does it keep going offline?
I don't know.
I don't have the worst computer in the world. Like, that's... Oh, shoot. I just hit my mic, sorry. Let me look that up.
I'm gonna send you the Gmail, by the way, at some point.
Why...
I'm not gonna do it not right now because you have your Discord streaming.
Yeah. Well, it's not gonna show. Now it went back online, and now it says 17 minutes session. Huh.
It's not what it says for me. It says 19, 20 seconds.
Okay.
Like it's coming down again.
Why do... Okay, so... What was I gonna say? This is an interesting topic. What do people look for in podcasts?
I want to say they look for the ability to listen to people ramble, just so that way they can have something as background noise.
Yeah.
Like you're gonna pay attention to them, but it's there for background noise.
Oh, it might be my bandwidth. Yeah. So
like
I
road trips, for example.
Again, I feel like it doesn't really matter what we're talking to. I feel like people won't click off because the conversation runs dry. Because as long as you're talking about really anything, people will just have it as like general voices in the background. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I guess when you have a good podcast in a good one of our podcasts in my mind would be like general discussion, a section of time about like philosophy, and then back to general section.
Yeah, just that we can just run off.
Yeah. I feel like it's just like, oh, cause you're in the car at work and you just have this as background noise. All of a sudden in the middle you're like, oh, that's an interesting idea, and back to background noise. You know?
Yeah.
Have that little thought in your head during the day, and that's what makes a podcast good. Is a small little section of it that you can remember, instead of all of these, the whole time philosophy and all of these points you have to think about. Instead, just one little section, and you're like, oh, that's good.
Yep, or something that can just make you chuckle. You know what I mean? Just like you sit there and you're not just bored. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You shouldn't be listening to podcasts while doing nothing anyway. Really. You should...
Well, I mean that depends.
Depending on the podcast.
I sometimes just listen to podcasts because they're really interesting.
Like, I could see like before going to bed, just like listening to podcasts just because they're interesting.
That is another really, like, that's what I feel like makes a good podcast. A podcast that you can listen to not only when you're doing something and you're busy, but also when you enjoy just watching it. Like you just enjoy looking at it and listening.
Like
that's what I feel makes a good podcast.
One of those shows that are engaging, but at the same time you don't have to pay attention to in order to know what's going on.
Yeah, but you can still pay attention if you want to.
Yeah, you can still pay attention and like be engaged and have it not be milk dry.
Be milk dry. Oh, word of the day.
Have the oh yeah, word of the day. We forgot about that one.
Oh yeah, that's right.
That was an idea we had when doing a pre-podcast.
A pre-podcast, which was just like one of our late night discussions.
Yeah.
That one was so long. That one was like for like
until 6 a.m.
It was till 6 a.m. and I swear we started at like either like 10 to 12. It was somewhere between there.
Yeah, I don't like we could have it like start around like after like somewhere after 4 p.m. or during 4 p.m. Right? I feel like that's when people get home from work. Or people
either that or they're in the car heading home from work.
Something like that. And then have it like our deadline be like midnight, 1 a.m. So then
you know what's really weird?
What?
I feel like we already have a start to like people watching. We have 3 people. I mean, granted, I'm one of those people.
Yeah.
But that like if you looked at those podcasts that were on the podcast tab, like the talk shows and podcasts, they all had the same amount of views. Some of them had more, obviously, but
yeah,
we aren't doing that bad for literally our first podcast ever.
My mic is going to kill itself.
TOS. You gotta say.
Oh, it's going to
not alive.
It's going to unalive itself.
That's what Captain Sparkles does.
Okay, that's so weird though. I mean, with Twitch, you look at the tags and it's like furry homosexual. Like that's not controversial at all. I get it. You want to express yourself, but it's gonna get controversial, right?
Yeah.
So making the
Uh-oh. Zenith, where'd you go?
oh no,
Oh, there you are.
oh no, oh it's back.
Oh.
I would have to I would have to open OBS over again to mute myself and then go to the and then go to the I don't know. It's a long process to make sure my mic works. What were we saying?
This is a lot more like fun than I thought it was gonna be. Like I knew I was gonna have fun with it.
Wow, low standards.
No, that's not what I mean. I mean like I knew I was going to excuse me. I knew I was going to enjoy it, but I didn't
Yeah.
think I was going to enjoy it this much.
I'm a loud person. I feel like during podcasts I need to take one headphone off so I can measure my volume and make sure I'm not like screaming. Or please tell me if I'm getting a little bit too loud.
You should be fine.
Well, when I have like it's not even like yelling, but it's just at a loud normal, like loud basis of talking. I don't know. A loud talking is sometimes what I get to because I hear the music. My hearing is drowned out by my thoughts. So I start to speak louder so I can hear myself over my thoughts. Kind of like if you're in a cafeteria and there's a bunch of people talking, you start to talk louder, and then the other people start to talk louder so they can hear themselves, and then it just eventually starts being really loud because everyone starts yelling so they can hear each other. I feel like that's what I do is like I start talking, I have pretty smooth thoughts, and then my thoughts get louder, so I get louder, and then when I get louder, and since I've been rambling for so long, my thoughts get louder, and it's a whole thing.
It's an infinite cycle.
Yeah.
Couch Potato says, I'm gonna try to make it to every podcast, but work can be a pain. Oh, well, hey, thanks, man. But no worries. Like, if you don't make it to one of them, it's fine. Because, like I said, we're gonna try to post them on YouTube.
Yeah.
Every time. So it's like if you can't make it to all of them, that's completely fine. If you don't even want to, that's completely fine.
And yeah, yet again, you can not necessarily like listen to them again, but like listen to them later. Or not every podcast will actually like be on Twitch. It like generally they will, but I'm sure we'll have a case scenario where we're just gonna be like, let's record this one, you know?
But not only that, every stream will still be posted on the Twitch, and they will be up for 14 days after recorded. Or after streamed.
No, I think we turned that setting off, right?
No, we didn't. We kept that on because we want to keep that on. Because that way we can actually get the VOD.
I see. So we can get it onto YouTube.
Yeah, that and that if people just don't want to go to YouTube and just want to watch it straight from here.
Oh yeah, for the 14 days.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Now, granted, we might, and same goes for Twitch to YouTube. We might not post every single stream from Twitch to YouTube.
Yeah, that too. I guess I'm sure at a point we'll have some podcasts that'll just be like, that was kind of shitty.
Yeah. Or just like this one wasn't. We weren't just that engaged, so.
Yeah, or like maybe for like just playing a game and whatever. There'll be points where it might not just be the best podcast, and you're like, not sure if I want to post this one. But this one will definitely be posted. That's a guarantee, unless we have some technical issues and like files get corrupted. I don't know. Well, I don't think it can be. It's initially the file's online, so.
Well, that, and even then, if they do get corrupted, we could always just come back to Twitch and re-download them.
Yeah, not like specifically corruption, but like it'll be posted. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Is what I'm saying to myself more than anybody.
Monkey.
Actually, I was talking to somebody and like that I don't talk to often. Like I talk to this person and I usually just talk to them about like life and stuff like that, and I all of a sudden just stopped talking and just said monkey, and they're like, monkey? And I'm like, yeah, that's my filler word, and they're like, that's great. I'm like, you don't understand. I'm like, monkey. Whenever brains stop, monkey. That's my role.
Mine is or swag or bruh.
Bruh. So
Dude, my friend pointed that out. Like, I never realized I started using that as a filler word. And then my
bruh?
friend was like, yeah, my friend was like, bruh. And I go, you know, I just noticed something. You say that a lot. And he goes, what do you mean? Or what? And I go, what? And he goes, what did I say? And I said, you said bruh. And you say that a lot as a filler word. And he goes,
Yeah.
oh my God, have I been saying that as a filler word?
Or when you get
And
stuck
then
in the rotation of saying like a lot.
And then I unironically was like, bruh, completely forgetting that's why I was talking to him about it.
Oh my gosh, that's great. Just
I've got some school fees and I might need to work overtime. Ooh, dang, sorry about that.
It sucks.
Hey, you know what this means though? When you're working, you can listen to the podcast.
Not every time you can have your earbuds in while working. So.
Well, yeah.
What was I gonna say? Brain. No. Oh yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing how the brain works on autopilot. Cause like, it's so weird how you can do things without like subconsciously. You could theoretically go throughout a whole day, not thinking, and your brain just doing it subconsciously.
Yeah.
Welcome to 9 to 5 jobs.
I
That's about how it
wonder,
works.
like, never mind. I was about to ask, like, how do you think podcasters just manage to continue to keep talking for hours? And then I'm just like, oh wait, whoops. I just
Hi.
realized that's what we've been doing.
Yeah, well, that is what we do off of a podcast, Orm. Is we talk for hours about like useless information.
Oh yeah, I feel like that is something we do need to point out. Like, we don't just like this isn't just something we do for the podcast. We literally will do this like almost every time we talk.
Yeah, well, this is exactly like why we did a podcast. It's just because it's now just us talking,
Mhm.
and now it's recorded. That's about it.
We're killing two birds with one stone. We could be entertaining people, which I love entertaining people. I love doing that so much.
Mm.
Like, whether it be
This is
with just
interesting
stupid
music.
things. What?
It's like not jazzy's not the right word. Tropical.
Wait, you're still using the
The same one.
Okay, I was about to say.
Yeah. So I've probably
Please.
I've probably heard it before. I will say, we're not gonna be just using this one video throughout like.
No.
That'll be like, cause then every time you click on start on a podcast, you're gonna hear the same exact song in the same exact order, you know? I
Yeah.
don't.
And there might be some podcasts where we just don't even have music.
Depending on what we're doing, yeah.
Yeah, because like there's a lot of podcasts that I know just don't use music. The reason why we have it now is because like if we do go silent, because this is our first ever, we don't want the silence to just be nothing.
Yeah, it's
Might as
the
well have
background noise for
something
the
there.
background noise.
Yeah.
It's to drown out the silence. Silence is the loudest noise, and it sucks.
It's crazy how loud silence is, especially if
Yeah.
you have tinnitus.
Well, that's that's a little bit different.
I have tinnitus. Tinnitus sucks.
I like I have ringing in my ears, like occasionally, but it's not tinnitus, you know. Because it's like I can have points where I could just sit in silence and not hear ringing, but then sometimes you just do. Like it's so silent that all of a sudden, like I've had that.
Oh God.
I wonder if
I
there's
hope you
ever gonna
can't
be a
hear my
fix to
dogs.
tinnitus. I can't. I haven't heard. Like
Okay, good.
the only time I heard your dog was before the podcast.
But what were you saying? Sorry, I cut you off.
Well, now I heard your dog.
Well, that's because I was talking, but
Yeah. It'd be really interesting if there's like a fix for tinnitus in the future. Do you know how tinnitus works?
I do not know how tinnitus works.
Oh, let me look that up. I kicked my dog and I said, "Ow." That's the thing I do a lot of the times is when I make a mistake, I say, "Ow." I don't know why.
Have you ever gotten close, like almost hit yourself and almost hurt yourself, but you instinctively went out,
Yep.
even though you didn't even hurt yourself?
And then like people are watching and you get real awkward.
Yeah.
How?
No, I don't even do that because I'm just like, you can't tell me you haven't done the same.
I just think, oh, that was awkward, and then I move on with my day, you know?
Yeah.
Okay, in all cases, tinnitus involves the brain's auditory cortex, which is responsible for hearing. Certain nerve cells and neural circuits are tuned to specific pitch, like keys on a piano. When we experience hearing changes, our brains attempt to compensate, setting the cycle of tinnitus in motion. So to dumb it down, but to smart it up at the same time. I don't think anyone's used that phrase, smart it up. That sounds like a talk show.
Yeah.
Smart it up, and then they're like, they have like their introduction, and they're like, all right, let's smart it up, you know. It's like really like cringy, just cause like on purpose.
Let's smart it up.
But I think like it's so weird because when you have to like when you hear ringing, you hear it, like you don't think about it, like you hear it outside your ears. So that's really interesting that it's more of a brain complication than a than a than an ear complication. Because I feel like it would be like, oh, some organelle in your ear is messed up, and that's why it causes a certain ringing. But no, it's
Where did you see that?
what?
Where did you see that Robo joined?
I have an activity feed where it said, oh no, they followed. Never mind. Sorry, wrong.
Yeah, I was
Thing.
gonna say, like, I don't think they joined yet.
No, sorry. But like I think since you hear the ringing externally, it'd be like something messed up with your ears, but no, it's a brain complication. Where I guess it sends a signal to your ear and the ear compensates by sending that signal back.
Ooh, weird.
Well, welcome to sensory processing issues. That's not what
Hello.
tinnitus is, but you know. Anyway, what's your thoughts, Storm?
On what, tinnitus?
On anything.
Oh my god, I hate tinnitus. You have to have a fan on. You have
Like,
to have a fan on the whole time.
to drown out the tinnitus.
I either have like music on, or I have a podcast, or I have my my fan is like the biggest part that like actually helps.
I can sit in silence. No problem.
I can't. Cause all I hear is
Oh, you know it'd suck? Meditation. I just installed this app, and I recommend this to anyone, because I recommend meditation. Like, even if it doesn't help you too much, you don't lose anything from it either. But there's this app called Smiling Mind that I really like, because I really like the British guy's voice. But, it's just relaxing. And, but what he does, he's like, now count your breaths, and I want you to rotate it through it 5 times, and you do it on your own. Like, he sits in silence. You sit in silence for like maybe like, say it's like an 8-minute meditation. You have like 30 seconds of silence, but it's like split out, right? So you have times to think about a task, because a lot of meditation is about mindfulness, which means to think about the present moment. So they give you a little bit of time to think about a task, like your breathing, and then they guide you back to the path, right? So that's why it's called guided meditation. But where was I gonna go with this? The points where you sit in silence and like have to like think about an objective like breathing, that you would either get thrown off task so fast because of the tinnitus, or you would not be able to hear the tinnitus over your thoughts.
yeah.
That would suck though.
Yeah, tinnitus is just awful.
Well, there's a
Like,
lot of just brain things that are awful.
You get used to it,
Yeah,
but it's just annoying.
it's like you can kind of tune it out, but like it's hard.
Mm-hmm.
You can't think about tuning it out. That's one thing. But you have to. The only way you're gonna have to tune it out is by like you forget it. You forget about it, which it's really hard when it's constantly, literally ringing in your ear, right? So
You know, that would be a really like. I was thinking about that, dude. That'd be a pretty good podcast name if it didn't sound stupid.
ringing in your ear.
No, the Tinnitus Podcast. Because like it makes a lot of
Yeah,
sense.
I
It
get
makes
it.
a lot of sense.
But the first thing you think of tinnitus is annoying. Like,
Yeah.
not background noise. Like, I feel like there's so many better names.
But like it
Like,
would
it's-
make a lot of sense. Like whenever you look at tinnitus in its like in its purest form, background noise that you drown out. Like you literally just have to learn how to drown it out.
I
I
guess.
feel like that's how a podcast is.
Overcoming
like, you know,
tinnitus. There you go. That's the podcast name.
the Overcoming Tinnitus Podcast.
No, that means overwhelming tinnitus. That's different. That means the tinnitus is overcoming you. El Monje. I want to learn how to say monkey in Punjabi. That'd be interesting. I know how to say monkey in sign language, Spanish, English. And that's about it.
Oh, I got a chat question. What's your guys' favorite podcast? If there's anyone in here still that would like to say, do you guys listen to any podcasts besides, you know, the best one, the podcast of podcasts?
Obviously, this one. Well, that's the name. Yeah, this is the podcast where we're talking about podcasts.
Well, at least this podcast is
This
the podcast of
podcast.
podcasts where we talk about podcasts.
Yeah.
I mean,
Not
later.
every podcast of the podcast that talks about podcast of podcasts will be about podcasts.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, eventually, sometimes like it won't be the general discussion, but sometimes we will talk about the podcast, and we might refer to this podcast being the podcast of podcasts, talking about podcasts while talking about podcasts.
Podcasting.
Yeah.
Remember Tide Pods?
I do. Wrong podcast. The Tide Podcast.
The Tide Podcast.
I feel like it's more of like the Tide Pod, and then like cast us and people.
Yeah.
You could name it that way, and then have a podcast about it. Oh my gosh.
Oh, that's
There's-
confusing.
There's so many like smart like podcast. Well, I feel like this is good. This is a really good
This
podcast
is a very
name,
good one.
but it's not like wordplay.
This is my first one. Oh, well, welcome, Coach. I hope this is the best one.
Well, it is the best one. It's the only
It is
one.
the best one.
It's
yeah.
also the worst one.
But let's look at it optimistically. Let's
No,
let's
yeah,
look at
it's the middle ground. It's
let's
the
look
middle
at this
ground.
as the glass half full.
Yep. This is your half full glass of milk.
Yep.
Big brain.
Big brain. This one, like, I don't know. This name probably isn't the best out there.
But it's
the
good.
Midnight Milk, like, it flows.
It flows though.
Just like
yeah.
milk. Just like milk, it flows. The Midnight Milk Podcast, but like I feel like it has such a deeper meaning. Like that is the reason why I was like, that doesn't sound good. It's because like I look at it in the meaning sense.
Damn it! Our phrase of the day is milk it dry. Come on. Really? That's how that's how the phrase of the day could have been.
How many times? Oh my God! You know what we need to do? You know,
What?
remember how we said we were gonna have that tally thing? How many times we say one word a specific amount of times?
Milk.
How many times have we said podcast?
I'm not going through 3 hours of film to count how many times we said podcasts.
Oh, that's hilarious.
There's no way. I'm gonna get someone else to do it. I'm gonna pay them to listen to our podcast and have a sheet and mark how many times we said podcasts.
Oh, you can write an AI for that. There's an AI out there for that.
Well, how does it tell? Okay, never mind. That AI are confusing. I'm not gonna get
Yeah.
into that.
But oh yeah, that's right. With a meaning behind this one, like I've already told you, but for the people that don't know, the meaning behind the Midnight Milk Podcast was like you can never tell me that like a glass of milk, whenever you're really craving it, and it's usually late at night, it just hits so much more different. Like, you know what I mean? It just hits so much better than any other glass. And I feel like that's how I want this podcast. Like it's just like it's supposed to be just like that glass of milk, you know? Delicious. God, I can already think of merch. Is that bad? Zenith, you there? Zenith. Oh, he muted. I don't have the Discord pulled up. Chad, I'm not stupid. I just don't have the Discord pulled up. I have the Twitch pulled up, and there's a big delay. And the reason I have the Twitch pulled up is because that way I need to look at chat, and then also to see if we're actually still talking. Oh, there he is.
I need to keep that. Because sometimes I can hear my mic about to like spaz out, so I have to like mute myself right before it spazzes out.
Hmm.
Just because if there's anyone who has like processing or ear issues or whatever, I don't want to give them a sensory overload from just existing. So,
but did you still hear everything I said?
I don't remember. Refresh me.
Okay. I was just talking about like the meaning behind the Midnight Milk podcast.
Yeah. No, it's that's I mean that's exactly what we talk about. And again with the philosophical thing, it's like a shower thought. Like that would be a good
Yeah.
podcast name, Shower Thoughts. Right? In fact, my grandpa has a YouTube channel where he plays guitar and does covers and makes his own songs and stuff like that. And he named it Spotty Showers. So every time the news says we're gonna have a chance of spotty showers today, it gives him a shout out.
Wow.
It's so smart.
That's what I call advertisement.
Yeah.
Yes.
That is advertisement. But I mean that's exactly what this is. It's thoughts you have when you are at midnight getting a glass of milk.
Yeah. It's just the meaning behind it is so like wow, that's deep. But at the same time, it's like it's so
as well.
exactly. But that's what I love about it.
Oh, this is what I was thinking. So Storm, we don't have to have I mean, we could technically do this with Discord Nitro, but we don't have to have like a program where it's two different art pieces. We could technically have it set up like this, where it's like I'm on the left, you're on the right, and then we have matching profile pictures where it's my character on the left, and you could see like half of the diagonal line that splits it through my icon, and it goes over to your icon, which will be like your character with the mic.
That would be cool.
And then we could have Discord Nitro where it'll light up our characters as we speak, and as an animation.
Oh, that would be so cool. That would be awesome.
The thing is, I need to. That's not possible. Because because it'll only go in the icon and not the whole square.
Wait, no, I have an idea.
What?
So, what if we had animated pictures or animated icons, and what it is like a boom mic, like because you're gonna be on the left, I'm gonna be on the right, and whenever we talk, the boom arm like kind of like swings in front of you real fast, and then whenever you stop, it goes away, and whenever I talk, it comes into frame.
That would be interesting. The thing is that the icons are
Bonk.
so small, so
Yeah.
that's a cool thought. I feel like it'd just be better to have a program that does it.
Yeah, but either way, that would still be really, really cool.
Yeah.
Robo bonked us. We have to bonk them back. Bonk.
Bonk. Here, I watch this. There you go. having ownership of the Twitch. Look at me go. What was it gonna say? But yeah, it'd just be better to set up an actual program that does the animation for us, and then we could actually have that program running live and then just stream the program, right? Stream the animation.
Yeah.
That's again, you could just install that code and like search up like podcast animation code or whatever, and I'm sure it'll be there. That just lights up certain parts that you highlight when you're talking and when they don't, and we could just have the program running and we stream it.
Like I said, we are definitely gonna fine tune it. Like it's not gonna be perfect by any means, and we don't want it to be. We kind of want it to be a little scuffed because I think that's just funny. But we are definitely gonna have some, fine tuned things.
We can start off with the drawings in MS Paint until we get a person to draw it for us.
Yeah. It's just funny. It's fun.
Yeah. Like
the little quirks.
I wish I did digital art though. I only do traditional just because I use art as a passing, and that's like, even if you don't enjoy drawing, I feel like doodling as a passing doesn't hurt anybody. It opens the mind for creativity. I feel like it's fun for everyone. Yeah. But me, I get really stressed when I draw just with nothing else to do. Well, no. When I could be doing something else and I'm drawing, I feel like I'm wasting time. And like I don't draw at home, I only draw at school. Just to use it as a passing.
I have a question. Now, I mean, it's kind of related to this, but kind of not really. Do you ever go back and rewatch the content you make?
Shoot. No, because I deleted it all.
Okay, well, well, you're not deleting this.
Obviously.
What do you stream?
It stopped my stream again. Wait.
No.
No, on Discord. So, in a few moments, you're gonna see the Twitch hop back to our actual icons, and then hop back. Cause the only reason why the icons are so large is because I'm streaming something.
Yeah.
So yeah, for a few minutes, just gonna hop back to the there it is.
I love how you see 4 bonks in the chat.
Blankers. Yeah. So I just had to stream something, so it'll be back. Brain fog.
But yeah, don't call me egotistical. There have been a few times where like I will go back and rewatch my content,
See how good.
and it's less of because I like it, but it's more of like I want to go back and see if even I would enjoy my own content.
Yeah, I never.
And
did.
if I can, then I know that there is definitely a demographic out there that I know can enjoy this content.
Dude, I made scuffed Roblox videos, plush videos, and I recorded this. I made a kazoo kid made. Like, I don't think I have any good content that I would enjoy watching. And either way, it's deleted. It's gone off the internet.
I don't know. I would go back and rewatch some of my streams just to make sure they weren't bad.
I do have some streams. Like, I just had. It's so weird. I could be a really good Let's Player, honestly, because there's a lot of the times where I talk about things in the game, like when I'm playing Bed Wars, for example. Like I go, what is this guy doing? Oh, I'm gonna hop over to this guy's base, maybe grab some emeralds, and then I say, okay, I'm heading back. Let me see if I can get this thing from the gen. I'm gonna try to get this thing, and like I'm constantly talking about what I'm going to do, right?
Yeah.
Like so when I'm it's really interesting because when I'm in a VC with someone, like maybe in a Discord server, and I just kind of forget I'm in the VC and just start talking about the game to myself, and I start talking to the people in the game even though they can't hear me. Like, what are you doing? That's a stupid move, right? And then people in the VC, they're like, "Are you talking to me? Like, who are you talking to?" I'm like, "Oh, nope, just the game." But I feel like that'd make me like a pretty good commentator on Let's Plays.
Yeah.
Okay, here's a better way to phrase it. Like a natural commentator.
Hey, almost 2 hours. We're getting there.
Where do you see that?
I just went to the actual page, and I looked at our 4 VODs that we have
And then did you
because
add
it
them
kept
together?
crashing. Yep, 6 plus an hour 9 plus 16 plus 32.
Oh yeah, I didn't. So yeah, I think it's my bitrate because I think I do have a problem with bitrate due to the storage on my PC. So, and again, it doesn't just have to be me streaming it either. We could have you streaming it. I already sent you the PNG for the intermission, so that's not a problem. So,
But the only issue is signing in and out of Twitch sucks.
really? I don't have a problem with it.
Well, that's because didn't you delete your other Twitch?
Yeah.
I still have mine.
Well, yeah, just log out and log in.
But that's so annoying. Wait, no, wait, I can sign in on the actual... Never mind, I can just sign in on the Google.
There's no Google account tied to the Twitch.
We can tie ours.
Yeah, that works.
Or the one we made. Good.
I think my mic's about to explode itself. I don't know. No, it's good. But I hear the faint, what's it called? Static in the background, of my headphones. Which just basically means my mic is crapping itself. It's so weird. I never say crap for some reason. I don't know why. Oh, I know why. I know why I never say crap.
Why?
It's because so when I was, let me say, I had to be 8. I had to be, yeah, I was around, no. I was still in Colorado, so I was around 5 or 6. And I was watching YouTube, and have you ever watched Preston play parkour videos?
I never watched Preston Plays.
Oh, so Preston Plays, he used to be a really good YouTuber for like I would say general audience, but obviously you're not gonna watch Minecraft parkour videos when you're older. But like he made pretty good general audience, and it was easily available to kids because he didn't curse or anything, right? And he was just a really friendly guy, and now now he's just there for the money. But he used to make like really good content that he genuinely enjoyed. And and so it could be to any, like, now it's for the kids, but back then it was just for anybody else. And he messed up on a parkour jump, and my sister walked in and he said, "Crap." So my sister went ahead and she told on me to my mom, and she said, the YouTuber Brayden's watching, he's cursing. And I was like, but he only said the CRAP word. And my mom's like, that's a bad word. And then I wasn't allowed to watch YouTube that week.
Wow.
So that's why I don't take crap. It's so, like, I casually, like, have cursing in my vocabulary, but, like, I don't say coward or crap because, like, those two words, like, I got stopped from saying. I wasn't allowed to say crap until I was 11 or something. And I think I told you this already, where I heard Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles say the word coward, and so the first time I ever fought the Ender Dragon, like, creative mode, when I was like really young, I said coward to the Ender Dragon, and my parents thought it was funny.
Wow.
So they're just like really predictable of what to say. But it's really interesting now. Now they're like,
Uh-oh, your mic's crapping out.
yeah, hold on, give me a second.
Yeah, I don't know. My parents have gotten really lenient recently. Like they've kind of just stopped caring. Now, like, I mean, I make it like my own little, like, I just don't. Not a lot. Not usually. Not even at home. Not really at home. But I don't know. I just don't really curse that often. I do occasionally, and like I said, not crazy, but I don't know. I never see it as a bad thing. As long as you understand the connotation of why you're using it, then I think it's fine. What about you, chat? What do you guys think of cursing? You guys ever curse or anything? Zenith, hurry up! Need to make a hotkey. Yep.
Alright, now I'm back. Yeah, it makes me so pissed off. But yeah, I need a hotkey. I'm just not doing it right now. No. But
I was wondering, do you want to end the stream tonight at 10?
it is 10.
11 for you.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fine. We have like 45 minutes, and then we can. Do we have like a wrap up thing you want to do? We'll think about it when we get there.
Yeah, I got a wrap up thing.
So, with cursing, it depends on like the people around you, and just as long as you don't curse at people necessarily, unless it's your good friends. But cursing at people is different than just cursing, you know?
Yeah.
It really just depends how you use the words, because you can give them meaning. This was the one that I wanted to ask you. So, you know, I heard a lot of people say people who curse a lot in their sentences, like that have 1 to 2 curse words per sentence, just because they just generally curse a lot, statistically are more trustworthy. Do you think I had a theory, and I want your thoughts on this. I had a theory that maybe since statistically less people in the world cuss a lot more in their sentences, and statistically there's fewer trustworthy people than there are not trustworthy people. Then since it's such a small percentage, that it just has them have a higher chance of being trustworthy. I feel like it's more of a coincidence thing rather than because they curse more, then they're more trustworthy.
Yeah. Oh, wait, do you remember we talked about that at one point about therapists? Like, do you think that therapists, because there are a couple of therapists out there that will curse in front of you.
Mm-hmm. Oh, mine does,
they, yeah. And it seems taboo to curse in front of a child or anyone of young age, right?
Yeah.
Do you think they do that as a form to allow them to trust you, or for you to trust them? Because you trust people, like you just said, that curse more. So do you think therapists use that as a way to, like, basically show trust, and that they'll be willing to curse in front of you?
Yeah, you know what? I think more people who curse in their sentences more know how to structure their sentence in a way for you to know what they're saying, right? So I feel like if you know what to say and when to say it, I feel like statistically you'd be more trustworthy.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, cursing is one of them. Just knowing when to free flow curse and when to not.
2 hours.
Yeah, and
You just got to it.
And since you don't have a filter, it makes you more transparent to people.
Yeah.
You put a filter on yourself, then you have your own thoughts that you forbid to yourself and to other people, so that you'd be less trustworthy.
Exactly.
So that could be a more logical reason. Other that, or it's just coincidence. But that makes a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm.
On how you're more transparent when you curse a lot. So it just makes it more trustworthy, and that could definitely be a method. Do you think that is a method that therapists know, or do you think that's something therapists learn? Like, do you think they're
that's something that
to
they're
curse
like
more?
I don't think they're told. I think it's like, because if you're going into therapy and you're going into the realm of learning therapy and whatnot, I bet you it's somewhere in there. Because you're most likely going to be taught ways of persuasion and trust tactics.
Yeah.
Like, you're going to need to be taught that as to let the other person that, needs the help to trust them. So I feel like that's what they do. So I feel like it's either something they learn by other people that are therapists, or that there's something that they've read and been taught.
Yeah, that might be, and that's only specifically like certain therapists, because like you got school counselors, I'm sure they're not allowed to curse. Because just school settings,
Yeah.
generally not allowed to. Oh, because they're teaching them. That's why. Sorry. I was talking to myself in my head. I was like, why is that? But it's because since you're teaching children, and that's the whole point of teaching, then like you don't want to curse because you don't want to teach them curse words. You want that to be up to them.
Yep.
So.
Now I feel like once they get into high school, though, I feel like that's when it's like that should be the time where it's okay.
Yeah, I guess. I guess it's just a courtesy thing at that point.
Yeah. Because
it's
once you get into high school, that's when it's just like you have lived anywhere from 13 to 18 years of your life.
The
thing
with that is I feel like with that reasoning, that's why teachers won't stop you from cursing. That's that reasoning, because it's like, oh, they have their choice now, but they're not allowed to curse because they're in a professional setting.
Yeah, like they are obligated to not curse.
Yeah.
Like they have a very strict reason as why.
Just as this, you don't generally curse at your workplace, like at an office job. Your boss doesn't want to hear that. It's not professional.
Exactly. I don't know. It's weird. Like, the line between taboo and... Oh, well, I know I kind of do want to swing back into podcast with this one. the filter that podcasts have. Like they need to have a filter, so that way they can still abide by Twitch's laws and of like their TOS and whatnot. What is your opinions on podcasts that filter too heavy?
Well, for a person who doesn't listen to podcasts.
Well, that's right. That's true. That's true.
I just thinking about that generally. I don't think it'll be like a general issue because like some people have to listen to filtered podcasts, you know. Whether it's because they have it out loud and they don't want other people hearing it, or like there's certain reasons why you'd want to listen to a filtered podcast, but not all podcasts have to be like open-ended. Some podcasts are just talking about certain topics, but what makes a podcast more interesting is if you have less filter, you know.
Yeah.
It doesn't take away anything, but it doesn't necessarily add more either.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't allow you to add more to the podcast. Is what that does.
Yeah. Like there are certain topics that are like I understand why a lot of people stray from.
Yeah.
Like politics and religion, like that's how you lose viewers. And like some people are out there just for the views. And I mean, that's understandable. Like that is completely understandable. When you are trying to entertain people, you want to try to widen your range of people to the max.
Yeah.
And just so that way you literally get the highest amount of entertainment value out of it. But now that comes at a cost. Like that means that like if you have a topic you're really passionate about, you might just have to drop it. But at the same time, whenever you aren't filtered, you get the instant demographic that you want. Like the demographic that you want is people that don't like to be filtered, or that just choose that like, oh, if you are open about anything, that just shows, oh, I like this content.
Yeah.
So it's like, what do you want to go for? Do you want to go for your specific genre of people, or do you want to try and have the opportunity to go for everyone?
I thought of an interesting promoting this to our schools. Hey, friends, listen to our podcast. It's been like that's an interesting thing to think about, you know. Oh, by the way, I thought I had that thought because I was thinking about, do we want to put in like the description that we're like, hey, we're 14 and 15? Or
I don't know, do you?
Because I mean, that's like, well, that could set a certain thing where some people are like, why would I want to watch a podcast about children talking? Like that's dumb, right? But yet again, it like the only reason why you'd ever want to discuss ages is because it allows people to get the grasp an idea of, wow, these people are this young and thinking about these like very interesting topics. I didn't know that was possible, right? Because everyone has their different views on children, so but it'll be interesting.
I feel like we should only answer that question if it is asked.
Yeah, or if it comes up like while we're talking, you know.
Yeah, because if that's the first thing they see, that's like, oh wow, okay.
Then it stirs away audience.
Mm-hmm. But if it's something that they're like, and let's say they watch the podcast for like an hour, like, man, I like this podcast, and then they ask, how old are you, or what's your age, and we go, oh, 14, 15, and they're like, wow, holy crap, okay, that's pretty neat. But if that's the first thing they see, they're probably gonna think, oh wow, this sucks.
Yeah, this is some unprofessional. Oh, this is kids trying to get popular, you know.
Yeah.
Because I mean, it happens. So sets a certain mood. But it'll be really interesting to like show your friends these podcasts. Like, this is exactly what I do at home, and
that's really interesting because like I'm sort of like how I am online, but I'm a lot more philosophical online than I am in person, and that's just because I've grown up being so silly. Not silly, but I've grown up being a child around them. So they've literally, like, they have grown up and seen me as my, like, most immature state.
Exactly.
And so it's really difficult to break that habit with those people. But now when you go online, you don't really want to be, oh, this immature, because then it's like, oh, that's how you stray away from certain people.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, at school, there's just some people who just know me as going, you're your mom, you know? It's like,
Exactly. Like there are definitely you have a standard of being not immature, but there's definitely like
or there's just certain people who've only met me when I'm on autopilot.
yeah.
Because I'm at school. I don't want to be there, you know? But, there's, I guess, there's a lot of friends that'd be like, hey, we created a podcast. Give it a listen.
Yeah.
That'd be interesting. And I'm sure, I feel like, would you tell your friends you have a podcast? Like, you usually be like, oh, I'm scared because they're gonna judge me. But A, who gives a fuck? And B, like, I feel like that'll just be a genuine, like, heart-to-heart moment. Well, not heart-to-heart, but, like, genuine understanding moment where you're like, wow, that's interesting, right? Cause when people think of getting popular, no one thinks of creating a podcast. So
Hmm.
I feel like generally when you tell someone, "Hey, I'm creating a podcast," that's not like gonna be their first thing to say. Is, "Oh, you're just trying to get famous." Because if you want to get famous, this is like, why would you do this?
This is the worst way possible.
Yeah, it's not the worst way. It's just like this is not your first thought.
Yeah, you could do so many other things so much better.
Yeah. People start podcasts off of their fame,
Mhm.
right? So it's like it just people never create a podcast to get famous.
Yeah.
There's no reason to like. Then it's impossible to have a podcast without having other motives to do it. If your only motive is getting famous, you're gonna suck. Like
Yeah.
you have to be able to enjoy talking and conversating in order to have a podcast.
Exactly. That is what I feel so many people misconstrued about podcasts.
Really?
Yeah. Like I generally feel that when people like talk about podcasts, they're just like, oh, they're just doing it because they want to get famous.
What?
Yeah, I've met a lot of people like that. It's really stupid. I've met a lot of people like that. And I'm like, no, it's usually because they really enjoy to talk to certain people about certain subjects that they find interesting or find thought-provoking.
Yeah, and they just want people to see, what do you think on this? You know, these are
Yeah.
thoughts that I have. What do you think?
Yeah, it's exactly. It is the form and way to show your thoughts and opinions, and so that way other people can get those thoughts and opinions.
I feel like we nailed it with staying on topic about the podcast.
Dude, I was literally thinking about that. I'm like, wow, we actually managed to stick on one topic, or at least go back to it.
Yeah, because I mean that's again when you have a podcast or a conversation in general about one theme, you're gonna have like a 30-minute just side tangent, right?
Mhm.
And then all of a sudden you come back and you wrap it up, and that's what makes a good podcast. I feel like we
And
nailed it.
now the thing is like if you other people will not understand what we were talking about, but like on some of our late nights where we just ramble, which we do that a lot, like before we even did podcast, our pre-podcast, I guess as you would say,
Yeah.
we would literally just talk for hours. Like there was this one night we talked from like, it had to have been from like either 10 to 12, somewhere around there, all the way till 6 in the morning. So we were talking for a real long time, but we went through so many different topics.
My parents are not very happy. I was up until 4 last night, and my no, I was talking.
I saw that.
I was talking to my dad, and I was like, hey, I'm creating a podcast. Like, I wanted to get my parents' views on like, what do you think about your 14-year-old son starting a podcast? Right. And I guess I've done like some of this stuff before, like, hey, I'm creating a YouTube channel. Hey, I'm creating a Fiverr. Like, and it went nowhere. So I don't think they're just probably gonna be like, oh, it's just some goofy thing he's doing on the internet, and it's not gonna get far. But I feel like this one's gonna be a little bit different. Not because like, oh, we're gonna get the viewers, but because I feel like we're gonna actually continue doing this.
Yeah, this is something that we do like pretty commonly.
Yeah.
So it's like I don't see it being that hard to actually continue to do.
But he did mention, he was like, is that why I heard you up at 2 a.m. last night? Because the last time I ever talked about the podcast was the 6 a.m. thing. I was like, nope, I was just being goofy. I was screaming at 2 a.m.
Bruh.
just having fun. And I was like, yeah, I was really loud last night. I'm real sorry for that one. I'm just a loud person. I come from a loud family.
Yeah.
That's about it. California fam. It's where it really originates back to, is a lot of my family is from California, so loud family. What's your thoughts on this? Whenever I hit a wall, I'm just like, Storm, start talking.
I don't know, like what, like on the thoughts of like a podcast.
Anything.
I don't know. I feel like it kills two birds with one stone. And in my perspective, it like I already love talking, as you know.
Mhm.
I could do it for hours. I get that from my dad. But like,
Yeah.
I already love talking, and I love entertaining people.
Yeah.
It kills two birds with one stone. I get to entertain the people that enjoy podcasts and enjoy philosophical talks and just people being stupid and rambling. That's just, I just love that. Like, I love that content. And then it's just like, but I also get to talk to someone else that I know likes to do the exact same thing and can contribute with me. So it's just it's so much fun. Like, it's really interesting.
I've been looking at our two icons, and
Yes, same.
I think besides like the whole talking thing, I think mine is like I'm colorblind, so bear with me. I think one's slightly like a different shade than the other
Yes, I
because there's
noticed
more
that.
white in the other one, and that slightly triggers me.
I think I'm noticing that. I think I'm noticing that too.
But again, I'm colorblind and I think my eyes are just playing tricks on me. But I think one's more. Well, I can't see green, so I couldn't tell you.
One's more teal or like minty than the other.
Yeah, but I can't tell.
I don't know. It's. I think there is a color, like a very subtle color change, though.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you though.
Yeah.
Mine's just different. I know that much. Yours is more vibrant than mine.
Mm-hmm.
Your
This is a
background.
little more subdued and
Yeah.
dull.
Huh.
Well, not dull, but very like.
And it's
just,
so weird, and it's because like why? Oh, but if I think about it and I can reverse the. Oh my god, it's my brain. Colors, man. I was gonna talk about religion for a second.
Bruh. Maybe in
Um,
a different podcast.
Yeah, that's a different podcast. We could have a whole podcast about religion. That'd be interesting. And
Okay.
maybe.
Maybe we will.
That'd be one you'd have to record.
Yeah, that one
because-
is definitely like a recorded one.
Because if you jump in the middle of that, you're going, whoa, what is this? You know?
Yeah.
You don't want some, you know. But if we could have one of those things, if we're going to talk about controversial topics, we'd record it and say at the beginning, this is going to be controversial for this, and this reason. If you're fine with that, stick, you know, grab your milk and stay. If you're not, drink it real quick and leave. You know, chug and go.
That one, like, that's. I feel like if we're gonna have a controversial podcast, though, we need to have a pre-plan. Like, we need to have a plan for that one, because that one's just like, that one's gonna be. Like, I don't want to run in there and it just be kind of blind. Like,
Yeah.
granted, we're gonna be recording it, so it'll be fine if we do. But the point still stands. I do want to make sure we have a plan, just in case.
Yeah. But I feel like we could definitely have a whole podcast just about Christianity itself.
Mm-hmm.
It's an interesting religion, but I'm not gonna talk about it.
Yeah.
Anyway, hi.
Hi.
What's up?
Hi, chat. Hi, chat. How's chat doing?
How's chat doing?
How many viewers do we have? Because I think yours might be a little more accurate than Twitch's.
Mine's 4. What does yours say?
4. Okay.
Okay.
I don't know, because like it says on the users, like it says the broadcaster, you or us, and then the users is Apple Pie Chart, A10, Cool Dancing Duck, Couch, Cat, whatever, Cax, Ips, and then me.
Yeah.
So I know I'm most definitely one of them. I'm pretty sure Couch is still here, so that's 2.
I
You
feel
don't
like there's
count.
like a weird like Twitch thing where it's like chat is sometimes different from the amount of viewers and
It
because of
is.
some certain
I've
reason.
noticed because I have on my whenever I usually stream, I usually have like 3 different things that tells me how many viewers we have.
It literally
or
might
that I
have been
have.
like the people who have clicked on the chat, and it doesn't even have to be
Mhm.
people who were there or chatted. It's just people who clicked on the like send a message button.
Yeah.
That literally might be what determines that. Just an update. We've had 30 views. We have 30 views.
Really?
That's interesting. That is
3/5 the views on my most viewed video.
That is interesting.
I think I had like 9 subscribers on my first YouTube channel, but I took it down not because I thought it was cringe, but because I was switching Gmail accounts. Because my first one was like Undertale Master number, you know, and not because I thought it was cool, but because I thought it was funny, and I just don't like going out and people saying, "What's your email?" Undertale Masters number, right?
Yeah.
Because you can have emails that like you give out and it gives them a little chuckle. That's just cringe. There's nothing funny about it.
Yeah.
But now mine is like cosmic number letter, you know?
Yeah.
Which is like, it's about space, which is like, that's kind of cool. But, which is like, and my dad was like, "Are you sure you want this to be your email you use forever?" I'm like, I don't really mind. I like space. Whatever. Like, I won't not admit to that. I don't think it's cringe to like space.
Yeah, my main email is like everything that you just need to know about me.
Yeah.
But then I have a burner, like I have a second email for like if my first email just doesn't work for some reason, or like I don't want something to be on my primary email.
Oh yeah, that's what I use Undertale Master number for.
Mm-hmm.
What was I gonna say? If cringe couldn't be more of a cringe word. It's been so overused. So overused. It's been so overused to the point where it's like, I don't know. It's been overused. That's why it's such a terrible word, and it doesn't sound good. But there's no other way to describe that feeling. That's the only word that does it well enough. And it's cringe for the fact that I have to use it. Someone please create a different word. There needs to be like a smart word for it. I'll gladly use it.
Ooh, okay. Ooh, I got a really quick topic for you.
Like folding face. I don't know. Something that sounds smart.
What is the cringiest content that you can think of?
Black Friday. Or not Black Friday, Friday. The song by Rebecca Barham. Or
Friday.
Or Rebecca Black or something. Yeah. Sorry, I mixed like Black and, since it's closer to Black Friday. Okay. You know what I'm talking about. Friday by like Rebecca Black or whatever. There's nothing good about that. It's so bad that it's good.
Oh yeah.
It's so unintentionally bad that it's good. No. I know it's the most cringe content out there. The guy, the one like half bald guy that talks about Among Us.
No.
Yeah, that one. And he's like, he's what's it called? Like 3 a.m. challenge kind of YouTuber.
Yes.
Everyone's seen him. Everyone's seen clips of him. But the first video I watched of him is like, it was like Among Us Happy Meal at 3 a.m. And then like the one clip I remember is him drinking the Sprite and going, "It's pee." He was so straightforward about it. So I just I clipped it and I was like, this is meme potential.
Dude, I don't know. What about Nikocado Avocado and his mukbang videos? That's pretty cringe.
That is just.
It's sad. It's less cringe and it's more sad.
It's sad. Okay, never mind. I was gonna talk about him, but that's really controversial. But it's just, feel bad for the guy. Next one.
Yeah. Next one. Oh wait, I have a question for chat. Well, I know Couch has kind of been like the only one to really converse in chat. What do you think of the podcast so far? Like, I genuinely want to know. Like, what are your thoughts and opinions on it? Let's get some outsiders' point of view.
That was a loud sneeze.
Oh, I didn't hear it.
You didn't?
Nope. I don't even think chat. I don't think it picked up on stream.
That's really weird. I sneeze really loud, and it's like while I'm in class, I'm just all of a sudden like, achoo! And like, everyone just gives it like a little glance, and the teacher's like, "You good?"
I felt that, dude. I do that all the time whenever I sneeze.
Yeah. We could do things like that occasionally engage the person who's watching the podcast. Like, viewers, what's your thought on this? It doesn't
Yeah.
have to be like specifically whoever can chat at the moment, but you can have it like, all right, class, now let's quiet down so we can have time to think about this discussion, you know?
Let's have reading time.
Let's have reading time. But like you can have moments where it's like, what do you think? Like take time to think about this, and then as they're thinking about it, we could talk about other subjects, you know?
Yeah.
So it's like a kind of background noise as they're thinking and doing a task. And
Oh my god, it's almost like we're doing a podcast.
that's crazy.
That's crazy, bro.
Never thought about that. We should do a podcast.
Oh my god.
This would be good podcast talk.
I don't know. Like this is, like I said, I said it once before. I'm gonna say it again. It's quite fun to watch, and I heard the sneeze. Oh, I didn't. You heard that sneeze?
It was, yeah. You might have drowned it out, Storm.
I might have.
Either that or like or the Discord noise suppression didn't pick it up.
Maybe. Oh yeah, that's right. OBS doesn't have that.
Yep. I mean I could turn the mic down. That's about it. But hopefully when I get an actual standalone mic, I can mess around with the settings of the mic, so it has its own a background noise suppressor.
You need a boom mic. That's what I got. Well, you don't need
one that you
one.
can like drag down.
Or not like a boom mic, but like a stand.
Yeah, I'm fine with just having the mic on my desk, dude.
Well,
Like,
I mean,
that's what
like
I'm
the one that
getting.
I have,
Like
it
you
really
can
helps.
buy separate arms. You don't have to get a specific mic to have an arm. Like just you buy an arm separately so you can like drag the mic down to your level, you know?
I don't know if you'll be able to view it because you're streaming on Discord or whatever, but I can show you what I mean.
Oh, the problem is with having a standalone mic is I can't just be anywhere in my room. Thank you.
There you go. That's probably like the best picture.
Ooh, that's a nice setup. Sorry. Well, now, the stream's gonna see a corner of it.
They're just gonna see red.
But yeah, so you do have like a pop filter though.
Mm-hmm.
Which is like, I didn't look for one. Like I could buy a pop filter by myself, right?
Oh, my boom arm came with a pop filter.
I don't have an arm though. I just bought the Blue Yeti by itself.
It was loud AF. Dang.
Yeah. But like I'm fine with just having a mic on my desk. The only problem is like when I'm laying back in my chair, you won't be able to hear me. I have to make sure that I'm upright. Oh, there's the corner of it.
Wait. Oh yeah. Yeah. That's my computer setup, guys.
Nice.
Hope you guys enjoy it.
I have LED lights, but I don't use them. In fact, I think they're unplugged. It's not like, oh look, I'm spoiled. No, LED lights are $20 actually. They're decent. Well, they're cheap for what you think they are. $20 isn't like cheap, but like
Okay,
for LED
well,
lights it is.
The LEDs that I want, like, have you seen my room?
I have now.
Well, it's super long. It's super long. Now, and that's
is
an
that why you're
issue.
able to walk easily?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
why I can walk everywhere. But like, my room, it's super long, and I want LEDs like to go across my ceiling. But I have like, I don't know if you can see, but that ceiling, like, you see how it's like really short? It's because it curves up and then it flattens
oh.
out. Like, hold on, let me see if I can. I'll send it after the stream.
I've been
but-
recently like walking in VR.
I don't have to anymore, but I do.
Exactly. Like I do it sometimes when I need to get somewhere, and it's like people always go, "How long is your room?" And I go, I live in a warehouse." And people are like, "Do you have full body?" I'm like, "No, I'm magical."
I don't even know why people ask that question, because it's like,
If my
You
legs
can
are
still-
moving, I do. Like,
I don't even have full body, and people still ask me if I have full body.
just like watches their
But it's like, yeah, I don't have to move around in VR chat anymore, but I still do, because it's like I had to do that for so long
Yeah.
that it's just become habit. So I'm just like, okay, cool.
Oh. How would we want to set up a VR chat? Like, I feel like VR chat podcast would be way easier to set up than a podcast like as we're doing now, because you don't have to worry about a visual. The visual is us talking.
Yeah. For that one, it's really simple. All you need to do is change your mic to your Oculus, and then change the audio input to your Oculus, and then for your game input, like there's different inputs you have. I know for Streamlabs, it was you click on VR chat if you want to have your eyes as your camera, and then you click on VR chat external view, I think it is.
Yeah, we'd probably want it as the camera.
Yeah.
Just
so that way we get both of us in view.
Do you want to have the camera facing the mirror? No. You'd want to be.
No, I don't even think we would want a mirror. I don't even think we would want a mirror. I would think we would just want it out, like facing us, kind of like for example, remember that table idea? We don't even have to have a world just like that just yet. We could just find a world that has like a table that we can sit at, and then we sit at it, and we put the camera at the end of the table so that we can see both of us.
We need a world with milk and a table.
Yes.
So we can like sit on the chairs and then just like discuss podcasts.
That would be really cool.
I feel like that'd have to be.
I can start searching.
There's no way there's a world like the only problem is there's no way there's gonna have a world with mics, a table, and milk.
Yeah.
There might.
There might, but I doubt it.
But how do you search for that? You know.
I'm just gonna look up. Like, I'm probably gonna get on VR chat once we're over. Which, by the way, we have about 10 minutes or so if we get off at 10.
Well, we'll just find a good place to be like, all right, that's a good place to end the podcast. You know.
Yeah, but we're scheduled to end at 10.
What we need to do is after we're done, we need to have like 30 minutes of all right. We're gonna have to put everything together so we can have it ready to be uploaded to YouTube.
Yeah, that's smart.
We could do that. So you know, it's always uploaded on YouTube, and we always have a schedule for that. Is whenever we do a podcast, we take that day to also upload it on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
You know, other people don't do that because they're like, oh, I just recorded a video. I don't want to exhaust my energy on now editing. But yet again, this is what we do for fun anyway. It's not like we're working right now.
Yeah, that's the only issue though. Is like I forgot we are gonna have to sit through the.
It'll be an experience.
No, if you want, I can be the one to watch it, because I'm not gonna lie, I like watching the content I make. But that's just because I'm egotistical and I enjoy the things that I make.
You leave it unclipped, dude. You leave it the only clipping we're gonna have to do is clip out parts of the beginning, and that's about it.
Oh well, that and clip out or like clip together.
Clip together. That's the only editing you're gonna have to do.
Yeah. And I mean, if we always wanted to, like, if you have to do something, like, I could always edit it. I have my own editing software too.
Do you want to edit it because like you're the one who has the hold on, sorry, let me read the spot.
Want to become famous?
Yeah, damn it, you got to it before me.
Followers and viewers on bigfollows.com.
I kind of want to check out that website. Hold on, I'm curious.
No, it's probably.
Will it grab my IP if I like enter the link?
It might, and so don't. I never I don't even do it just for a joke.
Let me do it on phone because phones can't grab IP. Shit.
Don't even do it. Wow, this one's pretty cool though. Let me
boot up my VM. No, I'm kidding.
This one actually has a name. Usually the bots that I get are just like a bunch of random strings of letters and numbers.
Oh no, mine do. Mine have numbers and letters.
Don't click that, chat. Don't copy and paste that.
Obviously. Can I? Oh, I don't have a bot that I can ban messages from. I have it on my other Twitch, but I don't have it on this one. Il Monhe.
Well, I guess we should have one more good final closer topic.
Okay.
And then we can actually close.
Do you have one?
Ooh, all right. What do you like? Do you have any ideas on anything you would like to change or add to the podcast that we haven't already?
Well, we're definitely gonna think as we go.
Yeah, of course.
I feel like that's gonna be like before setting up the next pod. Well, like in between podcasts, we can have those calls of just like, all right, we're gonna get shit done to improve our quality of the podcast. We could go ahead and we can like ask certain people like, hey, can I can commission people for art. I know that
Yeah.
much. I know some really good artists out there, and so I got that part covered. Setting up a program that might like be something you might do.
Oh, wait, hold on. Couch, I'm gonna go. It's almost 4. I have work at 9. Good night, everyone. All right.
All right.
Thank you, Couch, so much for sticking through this whole thing and even our technical difficulties. Really, really do appreciate it.
Yep.
I hope to see you again the next podcast we do, and hope to see you on the YouTube. Maybe comment down any suggestions you have if you
Yeah.
think of any. Like if you have any topics that you would find interesting to hear, like while you drive or while you are being driven, or really just doing anything, please leave them down in the comments or anywhere, and we will definitely consider talking about them. So yeah, you take it easy, and we'll see you next time.
Also goes
We
for
continue.
really anyone listening as well. But
Yes, if you have to go.
what were we talking about? Oh yeah, the programming you might have to do because like I might just not have the motivation to do that.
Yeah.
But I could definitely get art going. Have 2 separate pieces and animations. We'll see about that one. And then have a program going. But I guess what you'd have to do is like do the program and then might have to send it to me because I'm doing the streaming.
Mm-hmm.
But you can do the editing since you have the YouTube. And
Yeah.
then I'll do all of the streaming shit. I guess
Alright.
that's about it. But I mean, with the programming, I don't think it really matters because I feel like we have the same amount of experience with programming, which is none.
Yeah.
I know I can figure it out, but I'm sure you also have like a really fast like learning brain as well. So I feel
I
like it
mean,
really
I
doesn't
think that
matter
is
who
one of the
does it.
reasons why we started a podcast.
Yeah, well, again, we'll figure it out as we go. I don't feel like we're gonna have to set specific dates to figure stuff out. I feel like we could just go as we like. All of a sudden, I hit you up and I'm like, hey, you wanna do stuff to improve the podcast today? And we're like, sure. Or hey, I have an idea, and this might help to improve the podcast. You know. But no, I don't have any like ideas off the top of my head. Like we're just gonna have to figure that out like after the podcast.
Yeah. I guess real fast, I do want to mention one more time that there is no set schedule. The only set part that we have is we will not stream, or we will not go past 2 weeks of not streaming or recording.
Yeah.
Preferably every week, but if we just literally can't, then we can't. So-
Yeah, and I mean, we could eventually have this like, oh, we're gonna try for Saturday. If Saturday doesn't work, we're gonna do Sunday, or if like, or we could do Friday. You know, we could
Mhm.
have like generally on weekends we'll stream.
And if you ever do just like want to watch the streams themselves, they will be either posted on YouTube or they will be up on Twitch for 14 days tops.
Yep.
And then after that, they'll be deleted, but usually we will most likely have them posted on YouTube.
Yeah.
And if not, it probably just means that it just like we didn't find it that engaging, or it just didn't seem that good in our eyes.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm just sure we'll come across something like that. Yeah. You have any wrap up sentences?
I guess real fast. I really do want to say thank you again to everyone that had shown up tonight and taking the time out of your day and hours to listen to these 2 idiots ramble.
Yep.
I don't know. This is just really just for fun, and expect many changes over the time, whether that be in the sense of how we record, or in the sense of whether it's stylized change in art, or who knows. There will just be lots of changes, so look forward to that.
Yep, and
Yeah.
I'm going to slowly pull up the PNG as we leave.
Yes, our beautiful PNG. Like I said, be expected to see a little more art, especially when it comes to our banner, which we still need to create.
I don't know. I
And,
feel like my art is pretty good.
But yes, I guess you have any closing sentences?
No, I feel like that about wraps it up.
All right. So any last few words before we officially call it over?
We do need a catchphrase.
What should our catchphrase be?
It's really hard to think about. That's something we'll figure out after the podcast.
Yeah, like I said, this is our first. This is literally our first ever podcast, so please bear due and don't ridicule us.
All right, and now we're going to go and leave for milk.
Yep. So we're gonna go stockpile our fridges full of gallons of milk, preferably with the longest expiration date. But yeah. Hope all of you have a really wonderful night, and see you next time. Goodbye.